Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the ESL Australia New Zealand Championship Series, Season 1 for 2018. My name is Justin, aka Saberwaste. I have a very handsome and knowledgeable gentleman named Shambuck with me.
Oh, thank you very much. That makes my heart warm. Handsome and knowledgeable, definitely. But yeah, so welcome back everyone to this matchup. Here, second load of matchups for us tonight. It's going to be Lucky Seven playing against Riot. Um, Take it away.
Do you predict the riot, Shambuck? That's a brutally obvious
Ooh.
pun, and I'm sorry for that.
I don't know. Are you feeling lucky?
Oof, right back at me. I don't want to go all night with this. It's getting late in the day. But we do have two maps to go through, that being Mirage and Inferno. And oof, as you say, a new season and a couple of new people entering the fray, especially a whole new squad, that being Riot, who have a really cool name and a really cool logo.
They have been around for quite a while, but they are new to the ESL AU&NZ season. I've actually casted quite a few of their games previously against some of them. I do casting for Paradox as well, and I've seen them play quite a few times against them. Dirty is the player to watch. Okay, he can just pull out some insane stuff, and I reckon we've got the likes of Moop and Has, but I reckon he can definitely pull some stuff out and just carry us into victory. But that being said, Lucky Seven, I think, are just in a bit more of a league of their own, and just look at the experience on them. You've got Inject, you've got Animus, you've got Chris O'Ow and Panic, and of course Zeph as well. Just a bit more experienced lineup, reckon. I think they'll be able to take this one. Not as decisive for the last game, which was Streamline vs Carnage, but I reckon a 2-0 victory we're looking at.
I could definitely see that happening, especially with the maps that we've got on offer, that being Mirage and Inferno. And yeah, as you said, there was a lot of old names that you'll definitely recognize, especially Chris O'Wow, Inject, and Panic.
Well,
Just
this is going
refer-
back to those, the Exile 5 days. Even before that, I can't remember what team they were before. Skyfire they were with?
I think it was Skyfire, or maybe we may
I
have
reckon it
to.
was like Skyfire, then Exile 5, then Supremacy. I think that's what it went.
We'll have to
Um,
consult the old crystal ball to try and go that far back.
yeah, and of course you got Chris out as well. He's been on quite a few different lineups. I believe he was with Sif at one point. I think he was with, was it one stop? Was it?
What? Yeah, one stop was his joining.
That's
Then yeah,
OG. That's like
but
2016 ESL AUNZ season 2. I reckon it would have been.
season two, yes, and I think they got to fifth place if memory serves.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
pulling
15.
way
They
back into the
narrowly
memory.
missed out on the top 4 because I remember I was cheering on Team Immunity at the time. We just scraped in. I think that's what the case was.
Yeah, and they ended up going to the old. What was it? It was the Pax Arena, if I recall. And
Um,
they handed out chicken, if I remember, and that was good.
I I don't remember that much. I didn't go and watch the final games, but that's pretty humorous. I mean, chicken's always good for the protein for dinner every night. I'm probably gonna make myself some chicken and rice later. Yeah, chicken.
Yeah, chicken, very very good. But we're, we're casting the wrong type of game to talk about chicken dinners. But we are going to go into a quick break while we wait for everybody to file into the server. I have been Summerwaste. My right hand man has been Shambok. You're watching the ESL Australia and New Zealand Championship Season 1 for 2018. We shall return very, very soon. Thank you for joining us.
try and open up the B bomb side, looks like, though, so far. Sort of being pretty slow round going, but still 2 times left on the clock. Chris are pushing up quite heavily, finding 1 frag. No more for him as he gets taken down. The rotates do come in now from Lucky 7, who continue to try and shut down this push from the T's. Zep finding 1. Finding 2 for himself, actually, but he's got to get the last one here. Kaiser, 13 HP. Walking away from the side, gets spotted out. Zeph. 3 kills for himself. And the first round going to Lucky Gaming.
A very, very lucky round for him indeed. But it wasn't luck. It was basically all skill for Zeph. He almost could have denied the plan there for Ryan. But that would be one saving grace for them. And that would be the first for Lucky 7. Do right buy off of that. I'd highly advise against that, actually.
I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't. Maybe if you have enough money, if you got maybe a frag, you could possibly get a P250. But you definitely want to be saving up for that 3rd round buy for those AKs and those weapons that you can sort of make some games out of it. And you know, Lucky 7, they've read this quite well. 3 SMGs for them, few of the M4s as well. But they should be able to farm quite a bit of cash, especially as they waterfall out of A main. Panic finding the first 2 frags himself, does get taken down by Dirty. I did mention Dirty before. He's quite an insane player, so one to watch for the future. But Lucky 7 finding lots and lots of frags, lots of money as well. And Right Gaming should be able to definitely buy into this round.
They'll be looking to perhaps move favoring utility over firepower, going with the Galil. Sim is also doing the same. So we have 3 AKs and 2 Galil. And a decent utility set for Riot, but has left a little bit short-handed. 2 of the SMGs are actually staying up for Lucky 7. So well, legging him up mid, but Moop is making him pay. Animus will back him up by taking out 2 as well, and will back away towards the underpass and get 1 on his way out. So that'll be has 4. And although Zeph is on 4 HP, he's still a body on the field, and he's very, very cranky.
Still a body and a Molotov as well. Defuse kit, should he be the last one alive. But that's a bit further ahead in the round. Of course, he does have the bomb, so he does have the option to try and push his way onto a site. It looks like he's chosen B as his potential bomb planting position, but he read pretty well here. Inject is there to maybe stop him. Panic though. Sorry, my bad. Panic does find that frag from behind. And 3 rounds for Lucky 7 Gaming. Pretty much shutting down Riot's full buy on that, so.
Yeah, essentially, the last man said it was just held in place, and Pay just came by and just wiped them up, clean as you like. And Riot will basically only throw a few power pistols into this. The standard affair they would save in this region of Deagles and P250s. Will the 1-Digs come to town and just put on a little bit of a show for us? We'll have to wait and see. But we do have the 4 M4s for Lucky 7, and Panic will open round number 4 by getting a frag onto Sim through the pillar in Palace.
Sim obviously getting taken down there, and that's going to try and disable some of the T's options, but they still have quite a bit of time left on the clock. 1:15. Animus finding 1 kill with the Kaiser. So that's 3 left now for the T's, but the bomb is dropped in mid, I believe. They should be able to recover that if they need to. Push through Absence at B. Might be able to enable him to get a kill. Animus escaping with his life there. Has picking up a Desert Eagle, but no ammo. He's got to reload that. Find head. No, he doesn't. Animus shutting him down. That's 3 being for the round. Panic does lose his life, but it's going to be another round for Lucky 7 Gaming, who, well, in similar fashion to how we saw Team Streamline sort of take the lead against Carnage. They're looking pretty strong so far, and as expected as well, we did say, well, I personally did say, I think Lucky 7 are going to take this one with a 2-0 win. Right, game, they do have some great members on their team, such as Dirty and Haz, but still, Lucky 7, I think, are just a bit too good for them.
And
but hey, we'll see how it goes.
True. And a lot of members surviving though, which makes the economy a lot harder to chew through. But Moop is making a good start and headway of that by taking out Zep thanks to the help of Kaiser. And Chris and I getting tagged up too, so.
You're right there? Having a little bit of a cough?
Supplies are not my friend, Sandbock. I will tell you that much right now.
That's right. We'll hope there's no more choking from these teams tonight. We hope that it does go to be quite an entertainment game. None of this 16-0 stuff, although that would be entertaining in its own right to the viewers, but nonetheless, we'll see how this goes. Has going to try and recover the bomb now. A few frags have been taken out, so not too many options left in the bag. I think at this stage of the game, they may have just pushed out pretty raw. I mean, they have a few utilities, got smoke and 2 Molotovs as well, so there's a few options, but all in all, it's going to be hard for them to even get this bomb plant, I would say.
It would be extremely difficult, especially with only the smoke to be able to cut off the cross if they do end up moving onto the A site. There's 2 stalwart defenders. Still look there, the numbers will actually get out 2 of Panic and Eject. The bomb will get a safe passage and actually go down. So now, Lucky 7 are on the clock now. With Animus and Chris O'Wow.
Right, gaming just proving me wrong. Thank you for that, right? But bit of a retake here coming out from Chris and Animus. Do find the opening frag on the Kaiser, and now should be the push onto the site. Smoke does come out from Chris O'Rourke, so the Palace now smoked off. He's going to push out Sim. He's trying to save this round for him, but the retake comes in. Chris O'Rourke, 14 HP, should find the right code to punch in. Thankfully, with that defuse kit. 5 rounds now for Lucky 7 Gaming.
Bit of a turning back of time for Chris O'Wow. Bit of old form, which is really good to see. A really smooth retake there, actually, especially with the member just being pushed out of the firebox after the plant and just left with nothing left to give. Right,
Not to mention, it was a 2 and 3 retake as well. They only the CTs only had 2 people, and the T's had quite nice post-plant positions, so that was very swift work by them. Sorry to cut you off there.
No dramas, and a good thing of note. 3 members of Lucky 7 are on 7 frags apiece, so maybe it's a good luck omen. An A-side execute is on the card, and Panic will thin out the bomb carrier straight away, which has brought this entire take into disarray. Some of the CTs can be taken out, but Haz is the only one to reply so far.
Regardless of this, he's going to pretty much know where they are now. Dirty, like I said, he is quite a dirty player. Finding that kill onto Chris O'Rourke. Bomb has been dropped though, and the CTs should have pretty good control of this, I reckon.
The bomb has not moved since the initial frag in Palace, and it looks like one of the members there, that being Panic, is watching that like a hawk, cutting off the potential rotate, but it is in no man's land. It will be a 2 versus 1 for him though, should he choose to engage, and yes, he will go down to the hands of Kaiser. Now it is Zeph versus 3 with 36 HP.
Bit of a slow reaction there. I wouldn't have thought that he might have even seen him out of his pistols a little bit earlier, but that's okay. Zeph is going to get that frag. Smoked off, has finding the kill and the first round for Riot Gaming, so important for them. Bomb plant as well, going to be a little bit of cash in the bag. Should be able to see a full buy from both teams though.
Yes, and especially with the 9,000 on Zep, 7,000 on Chris O'Wow. It looks like they have full bag and tossing the guns around. We have a UMP and a Galil on the side of Riot, so they did have to do a little bit of scripting.
I wish I could toss my money around like they toss their guns around. That'd be nice.
Oh, the dream, my man, the dream.
Chris might be able to get a few nice little frags if he peeks out in the mid there. Has been smoked off, so looks like they might be pushing up short to go onto B side, I reckon. Chris are out in the ladder room, finding 2 heads, or 1 head, sorry, my bad, and Zeph getting that second kill, but great work there, stopping that push basically in its tracks, plus the bomb has been dropped for him, so straight away, Riot Gaming in a bit of strife.
They're definitely on the back foot, especially with the bomb locked out in ladder room and so many sight lines. It may not look it, but it's essentially out the of Riot. Pull the wool over the eyes of Lucky 7 so far, with Zeph getting one that has Sim starting to reply with the Galil, but does take a lot of damage for it. So it is basically 1.5 versus 3.5 in terms of HP, but a 2 versus 4 in formal standings with 45 seconds left.
Not sure if HP will matter too much though, because Inject does have this AWP, and if Animus can find the high HP player, with that SMG. It's going to be plenty of cash for him. Zeph also picking up a kill. I think he may have got that AK for himself as well. So great save there in the end. And Lucky 7 Gaming back on to winning form. Right. They're going to be hard reset, and they're going to be very hard done by, I think, from now on.
They definitely had a lot of strife, and you can't do a lot of rioting if you don't have the money to invest into your rioting ways. We only have a P250 and a Deagle for riot. Maybe a crispy one Deagle on the cards, given
I don't know. I mean,
in the past.
perhaps so. I mean, like you said, you can't really cause much of a riot without money. In fact, you can't even call conversation because money talks. Money talks, and well, they're not doing too much talking so far because it's 6-1, and things are going the way they are. It's not going to look too good, but they still have quite a lot of time to recover. Russo and Animus fighting kills themselves has found one, but second come out from Kaiser here. 3 against 1 as Zeph gets that kill there. So bomb plant is good for them. Even though they lost that round, I reckon that's a win in their books. They have got that bomb plant, which means they should theoretically be able to buy up into this 9th round. But let's see how things go.
Dropping 2 members too would also be a huge help, only for their personal banks. But getting the bomb down would be a huge buffer to the terrorist economy. But now it is Lucky 7 on number 7 and Riot on 1, and we go into another bye. Will the trend continue for Lucky 7, or will Riot actually spark a retaliation of sorts?
Well, if things go in the way they are, I reckon Lucky 7 should have it in the bag, but has finding the opening fragment to Zeph. That's going to make things a little bit more easier for those terrorists if they want to maybe push a B or an A site, or even the mid. They do have the options available and plenty of time considering the round has pretty much just started. Panic playing pretty aggressive up into A main. There is 2 players there holding outside, so if Moop's not careful, maybe a fall here, but holding it very nicely. In fact, Inject getting a nice great body shot onto Haz. That's going to make it 4v4 even playing field once again. AWP still in both hands of Inject and Kaiser, so they haven't been dropped just yet. And it should be an interesting round.
We want to see a duel between the 2 opposites some stage, but it does not look like that will occur for the time being. Dirty sitting around near the T apartments, counting his chickens and considering the next move of Riot. It looks like the Death Squad's starting to move through the underpass, it would seem. That's where Kaiser's going.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go pretty slowly for his underpass. Inject will be in the sniper's nest, so he might be able to call an alarm here. And if the alarm bells do get called, I reckon those CTs be pretty damn quick on those rotates off of the B side, heading to A, but Inject, no, he's not going to stay there. Instead, he's going to fall back onto the A side. And this could be a blessing. It could also be pretty detrimental. Should he get smoked off? Finds a kill, though. That's not working. He might even find the second. Yes, he does. Maybe a third if he's lucky. Unfortunately not. Finds, well, Simstory finding the head of him. It's a second frag for him. Panic playing pretty aggressively, and I didn't expect him to play so aggressive, but nonetheless, he's making something of this round. That's a third frag, and maybe just one more. 4K for him, but he's still got the kill. Very, very low. Sim does die to that Molotov. Unlucky for him, but that was a great round and a great, not solo effort, but a great effort nonetheless from Sim.
Definitely a 3K for him after that, and almost pulling Riot from the brink. But Inject doing just enough with the 3K himself to the numbers out and force Sim's hand, as it were. And now Lucky 7 are in a ways to win out the half with 8 rounds to their name. 2 Riots, 1 as we go into round number 10. And I have not seen this in quite a while. I'm seeing Tech 9s on the field. We have 2 CZs, 2 Tech 9s, and a P250. And smokes and flashes spread throughout the terrorist side.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. Maybe Tech 9s come back in the meta. Who knows? Personally, I'm not really a fan of them now, but Steph is going to be taken down by that CZ Inject. Finding a kill for himself. Second one, in fact. He's going pretty damn crazy with his AWP in this game so far. Kills are out, shutting that down, though. Riot Gaming not going to win this one, unfortunately. In the first 10 rounds of the game, Lucky 7 pulling pretty far ahead, I would say.
Very far ahead. Now the best that Riot can hope for is a 9-6, and even then, They may not be able to stop the full-blown momentum of Lucky 7. Lucky for Riot, though, the economy is not in as good a shape as you would expect because of all the damage that has been taken by the counter-terror side. But still, you cannot put a foot wrong if you're Riot if you want to get back into this and finish with a respectable 9-6 half.
Yeah, 9-6 is definitely something you can come back from. I think any more than that, and it's looking quite one-sided, I would say, Lucky 7. But, I mean, we've still got 5 rounds left, including this one of this half. So, anything can really happen. I think Lucky 7, the way they've been playing so far, it's been quite dominant, to say the least. So, should they continue that, it'll be a quite decisive victory. But the round's still going. Game's still going.
Still, very much so.
Can't call anything early, my friend.
No, that's what fools do. But Zeph is still being a menace, and it will be his track continues. Not once, but he will put him down to the bench, and he will actually get 2 to his name before Chris O'Well replies to him. The bomb is still on Dirty's back on 9 HP, and the bomb will go down, which means Lucky 7 will have to retake the site and punch the numbers in to defuse the bomb. Will they be able to do so?
Well, they got the bomb down. I think at this stage they probably should be able to hold it off. We're talking about Dirty early. Hasn't really had too much of an impact this game, but that's what we do like to see from him. His nade might kill him. He does actually, Chris. Very, very smart. That's some 200 IQ plays there. Oh, maybe not 200, maybe 100. Still very smart nonetheless. Inject gonna have to save this AWP, and that's gonna be a second round of Riot game.
Brain is extra strong, but Inject and the AWP, which is quite the menace with, which we have seen throughout this game, as a matter of fact, will be carried over, which is something of note. The 3 will survive for Lucky Gaming, and they get the second on the board and double their round score, going into round number 12. And if you're Lucky 7, do you start to panic, or do you think, yeah, it's alright, we can get away with losing a couple now. We've done our work.
I mean, I think the only person panicking should be Panic, but no, look, Lucky 7 are really quite in control of this game. Yes, they did lose that round, but they got plenty of stuff to work for in the bank. Chris has been pretty damn aggressive so far this game as well. I do like his plays, but so far in this round, Sim finding the first 2, well, not the first 2, but 2 frags for himself. It's going to open up and thin out those things a little bit Dirty. Coming around the back, now he's playing well. This is what I like to see. Panic finding a kill on him, though. Taking that 3 versus 2, has 1 HP, so that's still a body on the board, and that B side is pretty much completely open now. Kaiser, we do see him running around with the bomb, and if they get onto that B side quick enough, I reckon that's going to be another round of Riot, and then that is when Lucky 7 should start maybe thinking, hey, let's not let them get any more rounds, because if that does happen, it'll be 9-4, 9-5, before you know it, 9-6, and that's when it starts to fall out of control. Once the other team gets that morale going, once they get that sort of that flow-on effect, that's when things can turn a bit topsy-turvy. And well, I don't think Lucky 7 will let that happen. It could still theoretically be possible. So yeah.
Yeah, there's still the concept of momentum to really think of, because now with basically Lucky 7 are back on the heels, Inject and Panic had no intention of retaking the side at all. Even while the bomb carrier was moving on towards the side, they were able to run away from the B side and just try to hide and save, and they will succeed in doing so. So the AWP and the M4 will be carried over and held on to the next round, perhaps to stun the momentum of Riot before it gets going again, but that will bring Riot to 3 as the bomb goes. Boom!
Well, 3 is better than 2, but it's still not good, let's face it. And they really got to pick up the rest of the rounds from this half. If they want to still be in this game, yeah, they can come back, but will they come back? It's going to be hard to say. I'm not going to call anything just yet, but the way Lucky 7 have been going, Zeph, 15 kills. He's really stepping up to the play, and he's a player that I probably didn't expect to really step up to play more. I would more have expected maybe Chris or Panic to sort of get the top rank, but no, Zeph has really proven me quite wrong.
Yeah, Panic's been causing, well, a panic in amongst the ranks of Riot so far, amongst the 3 rounds that the Terrors have accrued thus far. The bomb is sitting outside of the T ramp with only 1 CT member watching over it thus far, that being Panic, speaking of the devil.
I reckon we'll be seeing a bit of a cluster here in the A main center. As these T's push out, there's going to be quite a few frags going pretty much each way. Has Panic, Sim all finding kills for themselves. Animus as well. Might even find a second. No, he gets taken down, so 1 for 1 for 1. as they get shredded out like flies, essentially. Chris Arau is still here with just a 5-7, so looking to pick up a gun for himself. Perhaps Sim with the bomb plant inject might even find Dirty here. Finds the leg. No, he doesn't find the leg. Sorry, my bad. Thought he got fragged. Thought he got a bit of a flood, but nope, my eyes mistake me.
He got a little bit trigger happy, and then firebombed out from CT. So Inject really put under the thumb. Now 26 HP left, using the 5-7 to go down fighting, but only one frag will go to his name before Sim silences him. And now, Shambok, we have a game on our hands. Lucky 7 are forced to consider their current economical state as the pause is called.
Yeah, the first real sort of eco round for them. Chris Arau had the 5-7 only last round, but this is what I said before. You know, Lucky 7, they got a nice lead, but should Riot Gaming find that second, third, fourth round, has a flow-on effect, has a knock-on effect, fifth and sixth, not out of the question, and a 9-6 is entirely possible.
Well, 9-6 in the grand scheme, if you're on the terror side, at least in the matches that I've seen locally, you would happily take it, because if your CT side is up to snuff, you can easily square it up to a 9-9 after the change and the subsequent pistol and ecos. But that's going a little bit too far ahead. That's for rounds 16 through 18 and 19. We're on round number 14 at the moment, which is currently paused, and Lucky 7 just contemplating their options.
So obviously next map we have Inferno. Now I'm not sure whose pick that was. Do you know?
If this is based on the home and away system, if Lucky 7's the home team, that would be their pick of Mirage, so that would be Riot's pick.
Right. So should Lucky 7 win this now? Obviously, we're going a bit ahead. How would you think that one will go? Being Riot's pick, do you think they'll perform maybe a little bit better on that map when we do come to it, or what are your thoughts on that one? Of course, this is going a bit far ahead.
You would have more data than I do, having you've seen this current Riot squad a lot more than I have, so you'd be probably well versed. If we may see a repeat of the scoreline, side and all.
Yeah, I mean, it is obviously entirely possible. I would like to see Moop step up to the plate a little bit more as well. 3 frags for the entire game, so hasn't had too much of an impact. So hopefully next half, as well as next game, he can have a bit more of an active role in the game. But if there's any time to start, it would be now. And, looks like he's pushing towards the B side, perhaps. Good choice.
It looks like it's a good choice. It looks both the C team members are sort of meandering about, and is obviously the least defended, but still you do have Deagles and P250s on the field, so you can't afford to cut any corners if you're a T side, knowing how the CTs buy in rounds like this.
Obviously, you've got to be ever so careful, and I think these Riot guys are playing pretty carefully. Very silent still now, pushing out through onto the B side. Panic about Desert Eagle, finding one kill. Has the AW Panic a second actually, but is finally laid to rest by Sim now. That one will be planted. The rotate does come in from these CTs, but CTs should be able to get into pretty decent post-plant positions, I would say. They have a little bit of time on their hands. Zeph is going to be spotted out here by Sim, who does find 3 kills so far this round. Maybe find 4th, unfortunately not. Inject. Desert Eagle doing work, and yeah, like you said, that Desert Eagles, you got to be worried about them. I mean, of course, Riot Gaming do win this round, but they could have gone either way. It was a bit topsy-turvy.
He did end up tagging Has there too. If he'd aimed a little bit higher and took off his head, it could have tipped the round in the Lucky 7's favor just like that. That's the power of the Desert Eagle and the 50 Action Express. But that brings us to the penultimate round of the first half. Round number 15. 9 to Lucky 7, 5 to Riot. And Riot will be giving it their all and causing all sorts of a ruckus to get it to 9-6. We have a fully bought out side on both sides. So now time for them to choose their metal. Inject will inject a bullet straight into the chest of Dirty, so that's thinned their chances of that. very early on.
I'm really approving these puns tonight. I'm very happy that you said that. But like, inject will inject. That's just brilliant.
I've been waiting for it, man. Chris O'Well will also drop the bomb carrier in the ladder room. Being a stone statue being inject will also take out Sim. Your simulation will run out. Animus will take out Kaiser and now has. You have a hazing to do. A 1 versus 5. And Zeph will send you on the breeze. The Zephyr's breeze. And you go into 9. And now 10 for Lucky 7 at the change. 10-5 is the first half score between Lucky 7 and Riot Gaming. And now
I can't believe how many puns you just pulled out there in a row.
oh, I'm full of them,
Like,
man. It's coming from
Zephyr, that was genius.
I come from radio. I'm meant to do like endless puns in a row. I could go all night.
You and I too, my friend. But look, this is a right game that I wanted to see at the start of the game. They were very, very quiet for those first 10 rounds, that first quarter, the first third of the game, sorry. It was 9-1, but they did come back a little bit, a few more rounds in the end, and hopefully, for their sake, they can get a few more rounds on the board and make this a bit closer than it already could be, essentially. Let's see how things go, yeah.
Up to the CT side to really hold strong, unless if the CTs get essentially overrun and the Ts end up being a death squad. Ooh, it could be rough times ahead, and the Riot squad, the Riot Gaming crew will have to turn into orderly citizens and followers of the law. There will be no more rioting anymore.
No more anarchy, indeed, and Zeph causing anarchy to the Riot boys. 2 kills for him, and that's gonna be pretty dangerous and deadly.
Zeph turning a small breeze into a gale force in a quick order. That's has a dirty sent to the bench, and inject will keep that trend going by taking out Moop, and the B side has been completely abandoned. The bomb on the back of Chris O'Wow. Chris will remember the old digits and put them in, and Riot shrunken down to 2. Kaiser will actually put a 45 ACP round into Chris O'Wow's rifle, so it's not over yet.
And inject as well, so that's 2 frags for him. This could possibly make some openings for him. Sim could be in danger now, finding the head of Zeph. So it only stops at a category 2 cyclone. There's 2 frags, of course. That was pretty average fun, I guess. But Sim's going to go for the ninja, but unfortunately for his sake, unable to find that panic, stopping him there. And Lucky 7 Gaming finding the first round of the second half.
I admire Sim's gusto and courage after that. He is top fragging too, as a note, so perhaps the confidence get the better of him. Who knows? But 3 AKs, 2 UMPs against a Riot Gaming squad with only P250s and nothing else to show. So mere formalities from here on out, barring any shenanigans. And every time I say that particular phrase, barring any shenanigans actually happen. So who knows?
Who knows? In fact, Sim gonna be on that sneaky spot, and that's a spot that gets me pretty much every single time. I'll think that's clear, I'll push that onto it, and then I'll turn around, and by the time I turn around, there's already a bullet in my head, unfortunately. A big, nice little ACP round.
Oh, lovely. It's like, he won't do that. And then, oh god, he did it.
Like, who does that? Like, who does that? Oh well.
And the poor person in the ladder room getting a little bit Moop getting overrun by Zeph and his AK-47. And if the bomb carrier and the rest of Lucky 7 had any idea, they would alert them that the A side, is completely clear. And it looks like Riot were banging on a stack. It has not happened. The bomb will go down, and Riot will either try to go for exits or not even bother contesting. They'll send the submachine gunners after the CT members. Kaiser getting chunked up a little bit from Animus, so send the small flutter after them. Animus will finish off Kaiser eventually.
Yeah, Lucky 7 reading that round pretty well, but equally as well, Gaming. Of course, they didn't have many armor or anything, but they don't really want to die to SMGs, so they can die really, really easily without any armor. So it was good of them to try and save, but once again, Lucky 7 read that even better. Gone one better, and gonna try and hunt down and get some money in that bank, because bank account is pretty much everything. Like I said, money talks.
Money does indeed talk, and it's screaming like a megaphone at the moment, with Adamus getting another frag to his name. That's a 3k for him using the UMP, so Heckler and Cobb will thank you for your service. And now, right, we'll have to take another one on the chin from the looks of things. Oh, a nade stack from the looks. We see HEs and a couple of a Deagle and a couple of P250s. Where will the nade stack go, do you wonder?
Well, by the looks of things, they're rushing up mid, so maybe corner.
No
corner
dice.
is the right choice, but the wrong choice. Sorry, right choice by me, wrong choice by the team. No players there for them to find the kills of, and now you have to do a retake. Just good skill only, and Inject is gonna take down 2 of them, making sure none of them come out alive. A third through the smoke. That's a great round there from Lucky 7 Gaming. Now 3 lives left on Riot. Can't be dropping any more from here if they want to make a huge impact on this game.
You're running out of frags, you're running out of rounds, and you're running out of time. Right, better cause a stir, or they will be quelled and put away by Lucky 7. We do have a full buy though, so if the momentum does start now, we could be in for a bit of a barn burner, but right, I'm running out of lives. This is basically the bottom of the 9th inning for them. It's getting to that point.
They say Cats have 9 lives. Counter-Strike teams have 16 lives. But 3 lives left once again, like I said, for Riot. And in the ESL AU&NZ season, every round is one that could spell the difference between you qualifying for the top 4 or potentially losing, because at the end of the day, there will be teams that are on a similar or even exactly the same score. And barring the fact that, this team beat that team or whatever, the more rounds you have, the more round difference, the higher chance you're going to be likely to qualify for those top 4, especially if you're one of those teams that are in the middle of the mix. So even though they're going to be Riot Gaming, they might be riding this one off.
Sim might have something to say about that. We're taking out 2 now. Inject and Panic are all that is left. They're definitely not going out without a fight. Kaiser looking up towards Palace. We'll take out Panic. Inject is the only man left standing. Kaiser will wipe out the rest of Lucky 7, and Riot are staying alive, and they get themselves a 6 on the board. 2k for Sim, 2k for Kaiser, the last 2 survivors for Riot. And that is, yes indeed, that is the first CT round for Riot Gaming, and it may be the shift in momentum that they need, but they need to string that together, and they need to do that now.
They definitely can't be dropping any more rounds from here on in. Even then, it's getting very hard. Lucky 7 with an extremely strong buy, lots and lots of utility. They even have an AWP as well. This could spell pretty disastrous if things go south for Riot Gaming, but nonetheless, they're going to give this their best shot. Hopefully, for their sake, able to get a few rounds on the board. That flash isn't going to be too well there, Chris.
Good in theory, kind of a mess in practice. Inject. Keeping an eye on mid. Nobody's showing their face. The snipers list that are forwardly smoked off. So Sim will have nothing to do for the time being. Inject still keeping an eye on it though. Whiffed right by him though.
Pretty much nutmegged him with the AWP.
Oh well, maybe it's just
Close.
a cutting shot. It's like, we still have an AWP. Be scared. And with a man like Inject, I would be terrified, to be quite frank. Panic sitting around the T-ramp position, maybe asking for a call and a bit of assistance onto the A site. Bit of a solid defense here, though, for Riot. If they hold strong, they could make things very interesting. Chriso Wow's been spotted out by Dirty. And Panic will actually get him a team kill in amongst it, too, for Zeph. You poor thing. Kaiser and Hazard now. Chriso Wow, the veteran, put the rest of the team on his back, but will be silenced by Sim. Lucky 7 now for Riot now. 13 still for Lucky 7, and they still have the economy left to fall back on, so it's not over for Riot just yet, but the momentum that they needed, this could be the start of it, and we could be seeing a closer margin, which we could not have seen a lot earlier on.
Yeah, no, Riot definitely still in this game, but I reckon Moop just needs to step up a little bit, and that is when they could be real contenders. So maybe even take this to 15-15, because remember, draws are entirely possible. It is 2 maps that we play tonight. Both of them are separate maps. They're not follow-on, so it's not a best of 3. It's 2 best of 1s. And you know, like a draw's entirely possible. So, well, doesn't look too good this round for Lucky 7 Gaming. 3 kills, 4 kills. Sorry, Kaiser. Maybe even a team ace. Moop has to find 1 kill.
He needs it. He's only on 3 frags through this many rounds that he needs them just for the moral boost, really. Because you look down the lineup of Riot at the moment. You see Sim on 19, Haz on 15, Kaiser on 11, Dirty on 9, and then you see poor Moop sitting at the bottom, bringing up the rear. Come on, Moop. Shoot Chris Away in the face, just for on time's sake. But that will definitely be another round on the board for Riot, unless Chris O'Wow can go full Hulk mode and Hulk smash the entire team.
I don't think that's possible, unfortunately. Sim is going to be here watching that head and doesn't find that kill. So it denies Team Ace. Poor Moop still going to be sitting on those 3 kills. But Dirty's another player that I want to see step up to the game. I've seen him play absolutely insane games on Train before. And I think even Inferno he played pretty damn good. So unfortunately for him and his team, they've been okay. They've been okay in the second half of it. Like the second quarter, second, third, my bad. But yeah, like Moop, come on, man, step up. I don't like slagging people off, of course, on stream, but it's still, I'm sure that he's doing good work for his team, still calls and whatnot.
He's still a body on the field, which is still calling things out, which is good. But as Professor Scott Steiner would say, the numbers don't lie, and 3 frags is not a good look this many rounds in. Mind you,
no, not much of an impact, hey.
You see Sim and Haz being heavy hitters, I guess. Why do the fragging if they do it all for you? So I guess you take the good and the bad. Pause was called, and Lucky probably wanted to take a breather and put Riot on ice when they get the chance. Utility is actually starting to be bought, so perhaps a power pistol play, an armor pistol on the way?
Yeah, it's looking entirely likely that Tech9's coming out for Zeph once again. And it didn't work too well last time, but maybe this time, who knows?
The wonders of science. You keep experimenting until something works. Animus being your utility man, so he will be the man to watch. And there's only 1 defender on the A side, so if they do a quick and dirty hit on, Dirty, who's the only defender, this could actually catch them out.
Once again, I think Dirty might have even read this well, because he has got an SMG. Now, if he can spray down a few of these players, unfortunately he can't. He would have made an absolute load of cash, but that Tech9 does work in Zeph's favor. So Lucky 7 storming onto the A side, going to get that bomb planted, of course. Now, any defense should be coming out here. Moop and Sim both finding kills for themselves. Has coming around on the retake too, so should be quite an easy enough retake here from Riot Gaming against these inferior weapons. The time is ticking. Well, if these teams play it carefully, they might catch a few of these teams off guard, but fortunately Sim knows exactly where he's going to be hiding. Panic, losing his life. And right, picking up another round. Now it's only 4 rounds in it.
And 3k for Sim 2 to bring him up to 23. And I wanted to cheer so loudly when Moop got a kill. He deserved it. He deserved it for all his hard work. But we go to 13-9. Round number 8 of the second half between Lucky 7 and Riot Gaming. We have the full buy on both sides. Aside from Inject, it's staff for utility, but he does have the big green gun on his back, which is his favorite toy.
I mean, you could even say that Moop's kills are getting stolen. I mean, he does have the most assists on his team.
True,
Possibly.
but not by much. Even if you total that up, he would still be on 9, which would be matching American. So, matching Dirty. So, who knows? Lucky 7 really not wanting to step a foot wrong, though. They've bought Idris fully. And gathering outside of the apartments, overlooking the B site. I'm still in up the T side of the map, though.
Plenty of time to play over though. A minute is on the clock, and well, this B site has been not much of a stack. Is that 1 player? Or is that 2? I think there's only the 1 player on the B site.
Looks like there's one.
Two, sorry, it was
one
behind my
looking under
Discord
from
thing.
short. Shouts to Discord who actually celebrates their birthday yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday, Discord.
They're running out of time though on the side of Lucky 7. They better get a wriggle on. 35 seconds down and now man down thanks to Dirty. Putting Zep on the bench for the next little while. Moving into 30 seconds now. Inject has taken out Dirty. Panic has opened up the site, taken down Has. But the bomb is moving down into apartments. Kaiser might be the last line of defense. We'll take out Chris as well. Moose will silence Inject. And the bomb is still on the back of Animus, but the time is running low. He will get the bomb down. A 2 versus 2 now. Kaiser will move in from short. Maybe seeing the shoulder of Animus. Has taken a couple of pot shots. Does chunk him down slightly. But the retake is on for Riot. And if they have any time to prove themselves, now would be the time. Panic is replying and causing a bit of a panic. Now we are down to a duel, Shambok.
2 kills on each of these players. Who will make it a 3 first? Kaiser peeking out and finding the head of Panic. And that's going to be a defuse as well. Now, Riot Game are entirely back into this one. Kaiser cleaning those players up, and 10-13 will be the scoreline.
I don't approve of Kaiser's spray choice. At least pay a little bit of coin to get a good spray if you're going to do that. But both teams now in double digits, and after what was quite a rough T-side for the side of Riot, they've brought themselves right back into this with 5 on the shot and making this quite close.
This is what I like to see, and of course as well, this could be a sign of good things to come for Riot. We do have another match after this, and it will be their pick, Riot's pick, of Inferno. So should this be anything to go by, might be a very close game. In fact, maybe even Riot one side, who knows? But that's obviously going to be next, and this is now. We are living in the present, ladies and gentlemen. Has finding the opening kill onto Zeph as the T's push out to A-side. Animus also getting a kill. Panic taken down by Sim. Chris going to be trading him out now that A-side is completely open for those T's to get that bomb plant. In fact, Kaiser on the nice little sight line there in mid does spray down Animus. And 2 versus 2 could be the situation. Moot getting another kill for himself. It's always good to see Moot finding a frag. Maybe even the second one if he's lucky. Chris without the last one alive. Can he do anything? Can he save this bomb site?
Whereas sadly with no utility to hold them off, so we'll have to do raw aim alone. Moop will have none of it. More morale boost, please, and thank you. Someone just left the server, as a matter of fact, and that will bring it to legs 11 for Riot Gaming. And we have had a man drop from the server, so a tactical
Panic, I think, has left.
Panic has, well, left in a panic, I guess.
He had a panic attack, you know?
Oh, there he goes. Panic attack. Oh god. Was that a song by Dream Theater? I don't know.
I remember Panic Attack as a robot on Robot Wars. I don't know if there's anyone here.
Oh my god, Robot
watching.
Wars!
Robot Wars. It literally was the best show when I was in England living as a kid. I was like, what,
I
6 years old?
I remember the first season when Jeremy Clarkson hosted. I hated him then and I still hate him now. But it's a brilliant show if you guys can find it. After this set, this 2 best of ones, I highly recommend you guys go and watch Robot Wars. It is a ton of fun. But
there should be some clips on YouTube, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, there should be some full episodes, I think.
Do you remember like Sir Killalot and Matilda and?
Oh, Sir Killalot! I think he had like this really dinky pickaxe. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But no more talking about robots. We're dealing with human beings and weaponry. We have a full buy on both sides between Lucky 7 and Riot. Could Lucky 7 stop the momentum, or will Riot bring this to a tie, which is entirely possible? And we'll also still see the AWPs on Inject and Has. Please let us see the duel. Please.
Well, Riot Gaming could even see it through the win if they take the lead, and that would be very devastating for Lucky 7, who I thought were the favourites to win this, and they still are the favourites in my opinion, but yeah, Riot Gaming are definitely giving a run for their money, aren't they?
Indeed, and especially given Lucky 7's previous results of the last week and a bit. I've watched a couple of their games, like qualifiers and things. They've had a bit of a good run, and they might be stumbling around a little bit because of Riot. They might have underestimated them, who knows?
Sim playing very aggressive in mid, might find a kill here if he is lucky, if we do talk to him real quickly. Holding in the smoke, so very, very sneaky from him. You can definitely hear him as well.
Ninja vanish. Maybe. Completely catching Animus out, but Zeph will be there to trade him really quick. So all that for a one-on-one. And then Inject will bring out the 3-3 at the Pua of the AWP to the chest. And Zeph will also take out Kaiser. And the round that Riot needed the most is slipping from their grasp. Moop is being torched away and taken out by Chris O'Wow. And now Hazard the AWP against 4 very angry terrorists.
And he's not going to know this. Here.
No, sir. Panic will take him out. And that will be 14 now for Lucky 7. My apologies for going on that tirade, but... Oh, 1 versus an AWP. I wanted to see the big green gun still run terror, but it is not to be.
So that's one of those lives lost now for Riot. They still have 2 lives remaining in this game, but they do have a full buy here as well. Has back on the AWP. Let's see what sort of work he can make of it. Has versus Inject, possible. Dirty. He's gonna be snuffed out of connector here, and he's gonna go for the charge. They're trying to get that frag. That net is gonna do some damage. Molotov might even kill him. Dirty. Surviving with 2 HP, but it's Kaiser who's going to fall first to Zeph. Zeph, see, finding the head of him there, and Dirty maybe on the rotate now as a bomb. Hasn't decided on a site yet, but looking ever so likely like a B.
You don't need to plant the bomb if you frag everyone, but Haz will reply in turn by taking out the first member of Lucky 7 to 4, which is Zeph. Dirty still alive and breathing on 2 HP. He never called a zombie, but he's still alive and actually fragging along with Haz. Now it is a 2 versus 2, but the HP will heavily favor Riot. And Dirty will be finally burnt alive by Inject. Now the AWP of Haz versus the AK of Chris O'Wow. 12 HP versus 100.
Oh, it doesn't really matter too much because that 100 turned to 0. Zippo Zil just has puts a bullet right through his chest, right in the gut.
Ow. That sounds rather painful. And what's rather painful as well is Lucky 7's lead slowly slipping away. Riot Gaming have shrunk the gap to 2. But their economic stature, as well as Lucky 7 as a matter of fact, is not looking in good stead.
Also, it's important to know, if you are just joining us, the scoreline, it was at 9-1 at one point in time. So after 10 rounds, Lucky 7 was sitting on 9 rounds. Riot only had the single round, but now they are definitely bringing it back and or giving them a run for their money. It'd be good to see how close this one actually really gets. Of course, a draw is entirely possible as well, being the rule set of the ESL, AU&NZ, if I remember correctly.
I'd love to change those things. But it will be interesting if it does end up at a tie come the end of the season. We're keeping an eye on things in the apartments with the FAMAS, the Clarion. Dirty will take out Zeph, and Panic will trade him out in turn. So just 1-1 for the time being until Moop will bring it in their favor once more. But we'll take a lot of damage for it.
Yeah, Moop almost got caught out there. They both. I don't think he really expected someone to push through the smoke, but he's starting to step up a little bit now. He's sitting on 9 frags, so a bit better than the 3 that he was on at halftime. Has great flick on the Panic, might even get a second here. Animus falling, and Riot Gaming close the gap to 1.
If you're Lucky 7, you'd be reaching for the handle and praying that you hit that jackpot, because they are running out of lives, as you alluded to earlier. Riot are on 2, and Lucky 7 are on 3. So the time is growing short across the board. We do have a couple of heavy hitters, though. We have Zeph on 26 frags for Lucky 7, and Sim on 25 for Riot. So they're going off. We could potentially see a 30 bomb if this does end up going the distance.
Of course, I'm not sure how many frags Panic's on. Unfortunately, he did get kicked from the server, or left or something rather. So only 3 frags since he's been back. But yeah, no, Sim's just going crazy, as is Zeph.
They're going hell-bent for leather. Panic did put in quite a bit of work in the first half, if memory serves as well. But we are seeing a buy coming in for Lucky 7, the utility, leaving a little bit to be desired, so they are relying on their weaponry. The Galil for Panic as well, so possibly not ideal. But now we let to see number round number 13 of the second half play out. Both of the teams have it all to play for. And match point or a tie game hangs in the balance. So Shambok, they have to be sweating bullets on both sides, knowing they can't put a foot wrong.
Mate, I'm sweating balls just sitting here in my chair, and not because it's hot in my room, because of this game. It's got me on the edge of my seat. Right, Gaming, bring this back to a very, very close score, and could even clinch the win if they knuckle down and win every round from here on in. But I guess I've got to be worrying a little bit here. Chris Sorrell's going to find the first kill of the sim. The second kill, sorry, my bad, in the round. That's going to open up things a little bit. No, it was the first kill. I don't know what I'm saying. 2 kills for Lucky 7 Gaming. That's going to open up a little bit. Bomb towards the A site, but so are the CTs.
All the CTs are there. Kaiser's sheathed the shoulder and takes out Animus as well. Through the pallets. A bit of a botch there from Kaiser. Missing the bank on the flash. Will smoke off the T's there for the moment though. So it's forced them to back off for the time being, but can they really back off and hold for the time for that much longer? The time growing ever so short. It's gone by 30 seconds remaining in the round.
Keep your eyes on Chris Sorrell. He's coming up from behind the flank. Frags here. Fortunately, no, Dirty does read it very well. And right, Gaming, they do get a few frags. There's a 1v1, but Zeph shuts down Dirty. And whoa, that's going to secure at least a draw for them. I thought that Chris Sorrell might get a few frags there. So unlucky for him, he did get spotted out. But yeah, that could have gone either way. I reckon that would have been the penultimate round, and has probably decided the winner of this game now, I would say.
Bit of a shame that the flank didn't end up paying off for Crystal Web, because it was such a very cheeky flank and keeping all their CTs in place. But it does bring Lucky 7 to match point, and Riot will be playing for everything that they can to shrink Lucky 7's round differential. And Sim, botching a nade like that will not help your cause, so the HE is out of commission.
It's alright. I've seen worse nades in snipers. So
indeed, and we've all seen that. But Dirty American will put the UMP-45 to work by shutting Zep down and throwing a molly into Palace, stunting any potential advancement there for the player that is in Palace.
Yeah, that Molotov actually going to work. Panic had to pull back just a little bit. Now Chris are peeking out, trying to get a few kills of his own. The Molotov coming out, but it's not going to make any effect apart from stopping his own push. Bomb already headed towards B.
Chris O'Wow's job now with the bomb rotating is just to cause a ruckus to keep the CTs in place, to keep them guessing. Kaiser very far forward and will remove Animus right from the server. A Matt Hardy style deletion, if you will. And the bomb will be picked up by Inject. A crispy 1D. Ow. That looked very, very painful. But a 4 versus 3 for Riot. 30 seconds left to go. And numbers being thinned ever more. Inject will revenge his fallen comrade in Panic. But now Inject is all that is left. But now he is no more. Dirty with 3k on the round brings Riot to 14. And we have gone the distance. The full 30 rounds.
The full 30 rounds indeed. And well, my voice is going to be sore at the end of this, because this is proving to be quite a match that I thought would be Lucky 7's one for the taking. But hey, it could go either way. It could be, obviously it could be a draw, but geez, that is and that's probably a round that you would have expected Lucky 7 to win as well, considering Riot Gaming didn't have the best of buys.
No, very much so. And
I believe they had 2 SMGs and 2 FAMAS and the Desert Eagle.
yeah,
so for them to win that was pretty damn good.
That Deagle was actually quite a pivotal weapon, because the face just got ripped off of Animus, and that basically tipped the round in their favor. And now Lucky 7 are left with nothing left. Look at that buy. It's the jumble sale buy, as a caster James Bardolph would occasionally whip off. 2 CZs, the Deagle, a P250, very little utility, and a Tech 9 on Zeph. What do you do if you're Lucky 7? Just swing it for the fences and blunt force it? It looks like they're looking to do that, as a matter of fact.
Ladies, gentlemen, and Russians in the chat. Here we go. Here comes the push onto A site. It's going to be the T's going out. Panic finding 1 kill. Zeph gets taken down by Dirty. So 4 against 4. They're going to get this whole time pretty soon. As doing some great work in the toll booth area, but taken down himself by Inject. It's going to be a recovery of the AK for Kusarao. That's a huge loss for the CTs, and now he has to do as much work as they can. Post-pass positions for these Ts. These CTs. They got utility to work with, so 3 smokes. One of them going to be thrown out. The second one is coming very soon, I would imagine. But Sin pushing up the stairs now. Going to find Chris. Animus also gets taken down. It's down to Inject, the last one alive. M4 sprays through the smoke. They are lined up, but that box is there. And it's going to stop things. He's going to try and defuse it, I reckon. But okay, the weld. Inject. Oh, God, that was almost there. I reckon if he didn't run out of money, that would have been the round for Lucky City. Unfortunately for them, it's going to be 15-15 draw. But ladies and gentlemen, what a round that was.
That meat shield, the meat shield strap was all that they needed. It was basically a 1 versus 3 for Injector. They all lined up for him, but Riot just held their breath and just went for it. And I'm pretty sure that they are very glad that they did. So,
what do you think of that? That's 9-1. The score was 9-1. Lucky 7 pretty much had that in the bag. All they needed was 7 more rounds, but Riot Gaming come back and we'll take it to a draw. But I reckon we should probably go to a bit of a short break here.
They've ran it back quite a long ways, but we will wait and see what actually happens, because
I reckon we'll go to a short break. Guys, we'll be back with the next game. It will be Inferno. I have been Shambo, joined by Sideways on CappingTV. We'll see you on the other side.
And welcome back to the ESL Australia and New Zealand Championship Season 1 for 2018. 2 best of 1s between Lucky 7 and Riot Gaming. This is the opening map of Mirage, and 30 rounds were not able to cover it. We're going to overtime, which is MR3. 16k.
And guys, I do apologize as well. I thought the set was that it was 15-15 and that was a draw, but it seems that things have changed. So apologies on my behalf. Sorry to ESL for that. I had to jump in at real short notice here. So I didn't really read the rule set too much, but straight into this, we will be seeing a winner for this first round. And Animus finding the opening frag, has also getting a kill on the trade. So 4 against 4.
Well, if you're going to be doing that, Sim will be taking out Zeph as well. Thinning out the T's even more, and just keeping their momentum going from the last set of rounds. The bomb's still stranded, but the A side's completely open, which is a good thing to note. And Sim, the potential last line of defense, has been taken out, and we are down to a 3 versus 3. Inject with the bomb on his back will punch in the digits. And now it is up to Riot to infiltrate and wipe out Lucky 7.
Bomb has been planted. Inject finding the leg of the enemy Orba has there. So it's going to take him down quite a bit, and I reckon maybe this AK could clean them up if Panic is to hold on this site. Smokes, or flashes, sorry, my bad, do come out. Molotov as well. This should be nice and easy retake from Riot as they push onto the site. Moop throwing over a flash and a Molotov. Going to go for that trade frag, and Fuse should come out here. Will be Riot Gaming who take the lead for the first time in this entire matchup.
And wouldn't it be such a Cinderella story if they end up winning it from 9-1 down after 10 to running it back, getting their first lead in extras, and then winning the map off of them? Imagine that going into Inferno. Of course, the full buy with the extra, with the overtime rules in place. Inject will silence has very quick say, "That's enough of that, mate. We got our jewel." And Inject won that emphatically. Now it's up to the
Bomb still heading towards B side. Sorry for those guys that I did say before. I thought that there would be a draw and that's that, but no, there is overtime. So welcome back to this, guys. Bomb now heading in the unders area. Kaiser. Do see him in mid. He hasn't spotted anyone out. In fact, is there a player right behind him? Or is that like, I'm looking at the mini map here.
No, he is not, but he is overlooking for the ladder and we'll take out Zeph. Perhaps stopping the push dead and definitely alerting Sim to their presence. So they're throwing out all the utility they can to hold them in place. The man advantage will go to Riot Gaming. 3 versus 4 for Lucky 7 to try and square the ledger and get the bomb down, but knowing how stranded and torn apart the entire team is, it's essentially a 2 versus 4 with Chris Wow being so far out of Asterix, only just moving towards the T ramp.
Oh, time is ticking. 25 seconds left on this clock now. These teams have got to do something, and that's something you'll be pushing onto the A side too. So the CTs here do stop that push. Dirty. Some work. They're finding the head of NJ. Animus finding 2 for himself, in fact, but the bomb has been dropped near Tetris. Now 10 seconds left on the clock. He hasn't really got much time to get in a position that he wants to. Breaking this round to be all but over, and Lucky 7 should find this. Oh, no, sorry. Riot Gaming should be finding this as Moot comes around the back and finds that frag. So 17 rounds for Riot Gaming now, 2 rounds away from victory.
It would appear that the luck seems to have run out. Yes, they do have plenty of money to spare with a full buy. A double AWP on the T side on the cards for Lucky 7. Shambok, are you as confused as I am? Because I think this is very unwise.
Yeah, this you're talking about the double AWP setup?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. One of them got traded out for an AK, so I think it was just a buy for potential extra pick that didn't end up coming to fruition. So now 4 AKs and the AWP. And now it's up to Lucky 7 to try to stay the ship.
Still 5 alive for both of these teams. A side is going to be the one they're going to commit to. He's now pushing out Dirty. Getting the head down of Panic, and Sid might even find the legs of Zed. Looks like these T's are going to be in for a bit of a hard bargain here. Sim does find Zeph eventually, and the bomb will be planted, and Animus now going to be doing some crazy stuff. Gets 2 frags. That's good to see the recovery from him and his team. These CTs, though, got to be getting to the site soon. That bomb's been ticking for a good 10-15 seconds now, and oh, Chris Rao is rotating through mid, through behind, and this is that flank that I like to see. He does try and try it a few times thus far, but haven't really seen it work just yet.
This could be the one time where it pays off. He did end up getting a frag on a Kaiser on the rotate, so that will be a 16th round for Lucky 7. I really enjoyed that rotate from Chris Wow because the entire CT side were basically positioned to retake the side for that position. It would have been a field day for Chris, but lucky for Chris himself, his teammates came to the rescue and held strong to get at least 1 round for Lucky 7, so it's not all for naught, but if you're Lucky 7, you'd be really thankful that the change happened, because if you remember, it was 9-1 after 10, and Lucky 7 were on the CT side, so we may see a return to form.
Yeah, the round that they needed, it was going to go to 18-15. That would pretty much mean Riot would be likely to take the game, but you know they're still in it. We might even go to another overtime should things persist, but kicking straight back into it now. Lucky 7 starting on their CT for the second half of the second overtime. Well, the first overtime, sorry, my bad.
Indeed.
Gosh, I'm misleading tonight, aren't I?
The second round of the first overtime. Second half of the first overtime. We can't words at the moment. We're trying to recalibrate and get back to you, but we do have a full buy on both sides, and has singing it out early, taking out the heavy hitter of Inject to the grave very early on. And not even a minute 35 left. And we're already a man down on the CT side of Lucky 7, and Riot inching ever closer to causing total chaos and annihilation and winning the opening map.
Well, it is looking likely at this stage, especially with that opening pick coming out from Haz. I do have 2 more rounds to win in order to take the first map. But what are they going to do? Guys are spotted out in mid by Panic. He's going to get tagged down pretty damn heavy, so not going to help him in any case here, but you might be able to push through ladder and maybe find a frag if one of those players are there. Unfortunately, they are not. For the bomb heading towards A now. Quite slowly, but quite surely as well. And Animus finding the head, not from the head, sorry, finding the kill onto Kaiser. Not really, really matter though, because his T's pushing out the A site now. Zeph is there. Palace area? Yes, Palace, sorry, my bad. Sim taking him down though. Here comes a rotate.
So, well, still trying to hold strong. Sim will take him out. Panic is one of the last lines of defense. Animus will be coming in very shortly from the connector area. Bomb is still on the back of Haz. Trying to take box shots at Panic, but the bomb will go down. He's being chucked through the box, but not much you could do with a round to the face, says Haz, as Panic will be benched. So Animus versus 2, the heavy hitter, to be sure. Can he be the Lucky 7 needs? Spraying through the box towards where the bomb is planted, but even if Haz does go down, he does have Sim to contend with it. He has no idea. As well demonstrated, a rimmed cartridge right to the skull of Animus will send him to the grave, and Sim will bring Riot to match points after all that 30 rounds and another set of overtime. We bring Riot to match point, as would probably send Lucky 7 into absolute hysterics. They did not see this coming at all, Shambok, and neither did we.
I definitely didn't see it coming. When I was looking at that 9-1, yeah, probably got this bag, but Riot Gaming proving me wrong. Of course, I have seen them play a few times before, and they have made a few big upsets, but hey, this is going to be one of their biggest thus far, and they're definitely taking it to Lucky 7 Gaming, 1 round away from potential victory for them. Inject on the AWP, finds the opening frag onto Haz, gets a second onto Dirty, and even the third, no he doesn't, unfortunately. Kaiser shuts him down. I really thought that he was going to get onto that, but unfortunately for him, did not. But 3 Ts left, 4 CTs still in the map.
Looked like it whiffed right between his legs on inject.
I would like to see a replay of that. I definitely would. That wherever that bullet landed, like, phew, that was close. And that,
it's either it made him deaf or made him either jump out of fear. But who knows? We're running down to 50 seconds. Chris O'Well is trained on the Palace position still, starting to move up. Perhaps seeing that a B hit is on the cards with the bomb's current position, but when it looks of things, it's moving it towards Palace. But Chris O'Well with the big fat collateral will send Moop and Sim out for the next foreseeable future, and now it is only Kaiser versus 3 members of Lucky 7. 5 seconds to do it. He will actually take out Kaiser off of that whiff shot from Panic.
take Panic down, yes.
Yes. And the bomb is actually down, so that actually puts Lucky 7 slightly on the back foot.
Kaiser in a great position, and it's a 1v1 now, and he could win the game on this 1v1. Zeph has got to be ever so focused if he wants to keep his team in the game. He does spot it ahead of Kaiser, but now he's going to throw out the Molotov and try and find a kill. Kaiser playing ring around the rosies, a pocket full of AK-47 ammo, and Kaiser will take that win for Riot Gaming. They do take down Lucky 7 in the end, 19-16. Gosh, that was looking close. A 3v1 to clutch at the very end, and we finally do see a winner in this game. Riot Gaming, uncharacteristically winning against Lucky 7.
Riot starting their very namesake. And Kaiser will be the MVP and the man probably with the most happiness out of the entire lot. He will be happy with that entire effort. But with that concludes our opening map. We have our first one in the books,
1916 it was.
1916 to Riot Gaming over Lucky 7, and we will go to Inferno. You're watching the ESL AU&NZ Championship Season 1 for 2000. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the ESL Australia New Zealand Championship Season 1 for 2018, Match Day number 1. My name is Justin, aka Cyberwaste. I also have Mr. Hammer.
Hello here once again, my friend, and well, it will be the last map that we'll be casting tonight. I think the final map of Matchday 1, as well as Riot Gaming, do take on Lucky 7 on their own map choice as well. Now, we did actually see Lucky 7 had a dominant start, but they did falter towards the end. Riot Gaming actually took the win on Mirage in overtime, might I add. The score was 16-19 with Riot taking that, obviously. So, coming straight into this one, we would expect this to be a little bit closer. Not a little bit closer. Very close, sorry, once again. Sort of maybe a repeat of last one. We'll see how it goes. That's what I'm predicting. Now, I did say that Lucky 7 would win 2-0, but I don't know if I should change that now because the way the Riot Gaming were playing earlier, that was crazy. But straight into this piss around now. Kaiser getting the first frag of the match. Zeph and Panic also picking up kills for themselves. It will be an A pusher coming out from the terrorists. And 3 CTs are alive. The A side is almost clear, but in fact, they're going to go for around the world. And Kaiser, he's to catch him a little bit off guard. Does find one, but that's the last line of defense. And now the B side should be pretty much entirely open. T is going to get there quick, smart, get the plant. Chris holds back, finds a head of Sim. 30 takes him down, so they're still in it, but pretty fast, I guess. Yeah.
Chris, wow, better get a wriggle on, especially with the bomb down and no kit. It should be noted either. So, never mind. 30. We'll take out Animus, but Panic will actually trade him. I got my players mixed up. It is a very late night, but Lucky 7 will scratch one up on the board. And looks like Riot has their chance to reply. They will reply very sternly. Armor, pistols, and a nade flurry with 4 HEs and a smoke. Will we see... Yes, we're seeing the bomb run down mid. Let's see if it kicks anyone.
This is what I like to see. Of course, has picked up a kit for himself, but Zeph finding 3 kills. Might even find the 4th and going for the ace here. Unfortunately, no, he can't find that. Has shuts him down there, but the bomb site B is completely open. These T's going to be pushing there right away. Has does have a kit, so he's able to get maybe a few kills with the CZ. Very unlikely, of course, but you know, it's entirely possible. I think he's probably saving though.
The CZ's very, very good, but it's not like the old auto pistol from Titanfall where it'll just lock onto people's heads. He has actually picked up an AK for himself, so if he was even thinking of taking them on, he's definitely not doing it now. He's got too much value and something to really have the CTs use a little later on. So it'll be
Plus having no armor as well. Don't really want to be giving away any AKs. If he dies to one of these Ts, I mean, they're going to pick up the AK. So it goes both ways, essentially.
Especially with only the Galil being up now. No actual full-blown rifles in play. The Galil, yeah, it's still a rifle, but something to really note. Okay, why the AK has been retrieved by Chris O'Well, so not all is lost, but an AK being carried over by the CT side of Riot will be huge in the offset. This third round, I believe the aim would be to get the Riot members to keep that AK in play.
Yeah, it looks like that's what they're going to do. And I'm actually surprised. I know Has, obviously they want to be trying to save as much economy as they can, but at least maybe buy some chest armor. But hey, looks like that's not really going to happen. He is going to go armorless as we do come into the third round. A bit of a B stack as well, of course, as you'd expect. One player on the A side just to sort of let them know, hey, we're on A. And it looks like they might be going to A considering there are 3 terrorists in the apartment space.
And it's the AK carrier too, which could actually be to quite the detriment because I didn't know the one-hit kill.
That's actually really interesting. Why is the AK by himself? That's what I've got to ask. And you know, I mean, the T's they still haven't got full AK, so if he loses that, that's going to go straight into your hands of the enemy, and that's the last thing you want.
Az is also getting surrounded on the other side of the smoke. Yes, the bomb is actually moving out towards the A site too. So the poor AK is left isolated and alone on the A side. He may be just hightailing it now, keeping an eye on him moving towards the library.
Maybe this is like some next level play. Maybe him being on the A side has made the T's think it's like reverse psychology in a sense. Maybe him being there has made the teams think, okay, yeah, let's stack A, but in reality, they're stacking B. And geez, that was
The double braid, the double fake, and now has come in from CT and maybe try to put it to work. He will actually dig Chris O'Wow and take him to the grave. So the double fake could actually work, and also time may be the detriment. 15 seconds now, and Inject will punch in the digits. But it is a 5 versus 4 in favor of Riot, and now a whole bunch of chaos. Dirty will actually take out Animus, and despite the health pool of Riot being so much more low, or maybe now, more closer to death thanks to Zeph and Panic. Now has the only one with the AK left, and now he is sent to the grave. But what an interesting and unorthodox sequence there from Riot Gaming. They take 3 members of the T side out of Lucky 7, which is
the
forced
round
to rebuy.
the round that almost was, mate. You don't see. I've never seen anything like that in my entire my entire playing career. A double fake almost pulled off. Unfortunately, they could do that. But geez, that was quite interesting to say the least. Right, the next level plays.
As soon as I saw the double fake back through library, I'm just like, oh, I want this to pay off so bad. But science, although it is strong, it does not favor Riot today. But a little bit of a buy, but it is a little bit fractured if you judge from the 2 Clarions. But not if Moop can do that. It'll take out Chris O'Wow very early on. Leave a lot of the T's stranded, as well as the bomb. The bomb will be stranded at the bottom of T mid.
He's now pushing out onto this A side. Now there will be 3 of these CTs stacked there, so it will be a bit of a war. It could go either way, depending on which way the frags go. Of course, get a bit of a backup now coming through CT as these T's push in now. Molotov in the pit area. No one's going to be there though, so no, that Molotov is going to be essentially null. Nothing's going to happen from it.
And if anything, it's alerted all the CTs to the T presence, and where at least one of them is standing at the moment, but they are having second thoughts about it. They're going down to 40 seconds, but they're all gathered around the mid area, moving towards Arch, where Kaiser is posted. Kaiser will actually take out Zeph, and Animus is barely breathing too, so it may be good to keep an eye on him. But Panic is a whole shade of dead. Inject will be the only line of attack left, but Dirty and Sim will take care of that. And the goose egg is broken. Riot will get their first round of the board, and the CT side is perhaps showing a little bit of a sign of life and a little bit of cohesion after a little bit of a stumbling out of the gate. And it looks like Lucky 7 is just taking this on the chin with basically nothing bought in except a few deagles. 4 deagles, as a matter of fact. With only 1 member having a decent buy, that big Zeph on 45.50. It's very wise to do so. And see, the CT's maybe not knowing this and just elected to go full rifles. And the
Better to be safe than sorry, hey?
Yeah, true. Better to err on the side of caution. Knowing how power pistols can be, it's more than likely the safest way to go.
Oh, a bit of a slow round thus far. Kaiser will find the kill onto Inject. Trying to escape, unfortunately, couldn't get his ass out of there. Hop over the fence. Now, bomb is down the banana way, but do have a little bit of time to rotate. They're going to rotate, though. They want to be doing it pretty damn soon, as the rest of the team do try and penetrate this A site. 3 players on the A side. It should be quite an easy hold here coming out from Riot Gaming. They do find the first kill on their Sim. Gets himself on the ball. Maybe even a second and a third. Spray down from him. That's going to be lovely. That's 1 for the books. 1 for the frag movie. 1 for whatever you want to call it, basically.
1 for the post on Twitter and Instagram. Whatever you choose or whatever you prefer. That is a clean round too for Riot. So 5 members up. And for a CT economy where the kits and the weaponry are so much more expensive, the more people that you can keep alive and the more economy you can build on each of those members, the better. I am a little bit unsure keeping 3 of the FAMASs carrying over, but we will wait and see what happens with that.
Personally, I'm all for it. I mean, FAMAS, even though it's not the best weapon, it can still do some pretty hefty damage, especially if, you know, players such as Chris and Animus are both tagged a little bit. Could easily find a kill there and maybe even save one of the AKs. Has found the kill with Inject, and T's pushing through. Apps now into Boiler. Once
The
again,
bomb
these
is
8 pushes.
the bomb is still stranded at T ramp though, so even if they clean out apartments, they'll still have to wait a good 10 to 20 seconds for the bomb to even get into position before moving up. 3 members are aiming to defend the A site. Has looking along from the archway. And your number 4 man of Sim still hanging around by the boxes, which have been so kind to him so far. I think it may actually pay off for him. We're going out to 45-second share buck. What happens next?
Yes. Well, time is ticking. I think the having that happens next. These T's are going to push on the A side, but it's going to be very hard for both teams to sort of hold these off. Dirty will be Molotov's out. Has found one though. The call to rotate will be coming in. Zeph pushing out, finding the kill, finding a second. In fact, they even get a third on this player. No, he doesn't get taken down by Has, and another. That's gonna be Sim cleaning things up. Like I said, this FAMAS still can make wonders work, and unfortunately, he hasn't found an AK coming into the next round, but still be pretty happy with how they went. Right Gaming.
Right Gaming have definitely shown that they've come to play and they've tied the things up. It was also really cool to see on Sim's perspective. He basically passed the entire T push like a ship of the night behind the smoke that they put up, and got into that position. The nade goes out to poor Zeph. He ate a nade and then a bullet to the skull. Say goodnight. Thanks to Has. And yes, they've gone full ego aside from one buy on the Deagle there on Panic, but it's a mere formality at this point. Looks like Riot will be aiming to take the lead and keep the momentum rolling.
Yeah, that's definitely what they want so far as well. I mean, they haven't had the best start to this game. They didn't have the best start to the last game, but if they can get on the right foot straight away, they can easily take this game with quite convincing fashion as well. Considering, last game was so close and they came back at the end and clinched that win against Lucky 7. So a good team in the second half. If they can be a good team in the first half, even better.
It was such a nice rally too from Lucky 7, from Riot, excuse me, against Lucky 7. It'd be definitely a feather of the cap. A little bit of a rough day there. But Kaiser and Moop will be cleaning things up. Inject is getting the only reply thus far, and Animus is the only one left standing with only 51 HP. So 51, well now 0 versus 369 being the total pool. As Has will take him out, and Riot take the lead, causing a bit of anarchy, and the slot machine for Lucky 7 to be reconfigured. Looks like a full buy will be coming in though, so it will be the true test and the most even keel that you could ask for in terms of a matchup.
I really like that sneaky little slot machine pun you put in there. Like,
I
don't know if
it,
anyone's going to pick up on that one. That's quite sneaky, I do approve of that. You've been on the ball tonight, haven't you, man?
I'm quick as I can when I want to be.
I'll tell you who else has also been on the ball tonight. Has is on the ball. Last game he was on the ball. This game, currently sitting on 9 kills for himself. Can he find a 10th? Maybe 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th?
You may end up being a crotch though, with only him and Sim being left alive. The bomb, yes, is still stranded in second mid, but it will be up to Sim and Has to either play the buddy system, catch the fact that Lucky 7 is so slow, maybe catch them off guard, or just aim to hang onto their weaponry. Because despite the CT economy looking in good stead, forcing rebuys is not a good thing if you're a CT. And they'll get that to a minimum. And Has is now downed at the hands of Panic, and now Sim is all that is left. The orb's location will be more likely noted and more likely tried to be retrieved, but the rest of Lucky 7 are big, circling around like hawks. Your high HP man of Zeph is on the hunt, moving out towards the A site. Sim in the boiler room. Will Zeph notice this? He's moving in through apartments, it would seem.
I don't know what he's looking at, but I think he's going to give up on trying to save that AWP. The risk is too much, and there's not much of a reward, so does opt to save his own AK. Will be saving that AWP through. But that's another round for Lucky Gaming and bring it back to level taking 4-4.
But a four-leaf clover was found in his travels. A full buy again for both sides. We're
Very
definitely not
lucky.
over yet. We are on to a little bit of a tug of war. We're into the second stanza of our second map. You'd call this a little bit of the economic struggles, the tug of war. A little bit that the Lucky 7 people have to chew through the economy of Riot Gaming, and it looks like they will succeed if this round ends up falling their way. No AWP on the field for the T's. You will see one on Az, who has been, as Shambok mentioned, the star of the show thus far, with 10 frags to his name, but everybody's tight together, except for Moop again. He's dragging the shade, but we do have Animus at a 0, 1, and 7. After being such a force to be reckoned with, he better pick it up. Inject definitely picks up, though, taking out Kaiser and Moop with crispy headshots. Thank you very much. Dirty will reply, though. The B site has been completely vacated. Animus will punch in the digits underneath the coffins and will tell the B site to perhaps rest in peace if Riot does not get a wriggle on.
Who keeps a nuclear warhead in a coffin?
Why are you asking these things?
That's just a little bit morbid, you know. I mean, I don't know. It just seems kind of weird, but
At
well.
least it's not what you thought it would be. To be fair.
What did I think it would be?
Well, what naturally goes in coffins.
Yeah. I mean that would be a bit more morbid, I think.
Maybe, perhaps it's a really elongated time capsule that will go down with it.
Maybe. I did watch like a documentary on time capsules the other day. I don't know why. Even I search up and I'm like, oh, what's this? Oh, what's that? And then end up some Vice thing and yeah, time capsules. So
Vice is fun. 3 survive for Riot and 4 survive for Lucky 7. So the economic war will continue. Lucky 7 will jump ahead by 1. Shambok, for a terrorist side on Inferno, in the current state of affairs, how many rounds would you go for?
I would say at least, I'd actually say 8-7 or 7-8, even. I think I haven't played too much Inferno. It's not a map that I play a lot of. But when I do, I generally find that around the halftime, in fact, maybe even the CT preference from what I can gather. So yeah, 7 rounds as a C side, I'd be happy with that. But what about yourself?
Well, even after the revisions, yes, this was CT sided traditionally. In the Inferno of Old, you'd be asking for a 9-6 to the CTs, but nowadays, it's entirely up in the air. You may even expect a terror side winner, be completely complacent with that. So it's not over yet. Chris Wow did get dropped in amongst everything, but Moop has and Kaiser have taken a little bit of a licking from bullets and nades of utility.
I think a bit more of a licking, mate. More than that,
There may have been a little bit of biting.
Yeah, a bit of biting, maybe a bit of a munching, I think.
Maybe Panic will Batman the player in pit, that being Dirty, jumping in behind him from the balcony. The bomb will go down. It is a 3 versus 3, but the health pool will barely favor Riot Gaming because Inject is your only man on single digits. And if he goes down, he may actually only be a meat shield for the time being. As it does get chunked down, though. They're all gathered via the library position. 4-3 whips right over Panic's head. Does the HG, so he's surviving for the time being. Kaiser's called the party off. It looks like the rest of Riot will huddle back and regroup to try again. Zeph is looking to blow them all away, though, with his AK-47. He's caught a whiff of the CT players trying to save it. It is preventing them from doing so. Will he succeed? It would appear not. 3 members of Riot will survive. A number round on the board for Lucky 7. The bomb will go boom. And, ooh, Shambok. The dice have been thrown. Things are getting very interesting. And the economic standing for Riot Gaming is still not as steady as the CT would like.
Now, if you remember last map, which was a Mirage, at this exact stage of the game, we were looking at 9-1. Lucky 7 pretty much had it in the bag. They only had to get like 6 rounds. They'd be on 15, 7 rounds and a win. But Riot Gaming did come back and win it. So, look, Riot Gaming definitely not a team that would be better in the first sort of half. But given this scoreline, I think they're still entirely, I mean, they're only two rounds in, essentially. They could come back and they could sweep the floor.
Yeah, they've shrunken it down. They wanted to keep the momentum going. It may have been slowed down slightly. He has getting a tag, but no frag. But Sim will clean up the scraps. We're down into a 4 with nearly a minute to go in round number 11. The bomb is still stranded in mid and making a decision as to what to do. Oh boy, two members of the CT side are at each bomb site. Sim is sitting inside the A site. The cavalry is actually here for Lucky 7 to collapse onto the A site. They successfully do so thanks to Animus and Panic. The bomb will go down. Put your coin up, pull the lever, see what happens. Will they come up trumps? Moop and Kaiser will be the only ones able to interfere, but will they even choose to do so? No, no sir. They are moving all the way into CT spawn, looking at the water wheel, and conceding the 7th round to the namesake Lucky 7, with 4 surviving too, unless one of them gets too greedy.
Here at CappingTV, though, we do not condone gambling, of course, and well, to all those Russian gamblers out there, gamble responsibly. I hope you're, well, hope for your sake it'll be funny. I can see there's a lot of you in the chat.
There is a very harsh disclaimer. Please gamble responsibly. But the references were too easy and too good to pass up. But that is 7 now for Lucky 7. The pause will be called. Perhaps wanting to put Lucky 7 on ice will be Ryan, so this would be the opportune time to do it. And poor Moop. I'm sorry, I have to bring him up again. Look at his stat line.
It hasn't been his night, has it, unfortunately. But look at Animus.
Goodness me. Animus and
even Chris.
Yeah.
2, 1. There's 5 kills between them. The next closest people are on 6 kills. So that's basically 3 players who have yet to have a solid impact on the game thus far. And, well, I guess the carrier sort of has been from Haz, Panic, and Zeph. Dirty's also up there with Sim. But yeah, like it's a few players have been stepping up, a few players have been a bit quiet. Would like to see these players that have been quiet sort of get a bit more into the game, a few more frags, and hopefully maybe closer game.
And especially Animus after last map and his heroic effort, he went off. As a matter of fact, I think he almost closed on a 30 bomb before the end of regulation, and now he's held to 1 frag in 12 rounds, or well, soon to be 12 rounds. Oof, how things change when you change the setting, the map.
Yeah, perhaps this is not their map, and I mean, well, who knows really? Has been one of those games where you've had some pretty weird scenarios, I would say. Like, for example, that double fake earlier, I think that was at round 3, round 4. That was
it was round 2, as a matter of fact.
Round 2. That was one of the most interesting things I have ever seen in my history of CSGO. And inject through the smoke, finding the leg, or actually the body of Haz. Going to be taking one down very, very easily.
It'll be a shot right to the pelvis, and that pelvis will be very difficult to sit on when you're on the bench, Haz. You'll be bleeding all over the place. So an early frag to Lucky 7 will give them the leg up very early, and instead the defense on the B side, maybe they'll become aware, but Dirty will square the ledger by taking out Panic with his depressed M4. The bomb's still stationary in Banana. Perhaps they're quick and Dirty hit, but that was potential on the cards. The window is closed for that, perhaps, with the movement between the sides. But now one of them is pedaling back towards the arch position.
Should be an easy enough take here, though. Moop will be actually he's completely disregarding anyone else, and especially my comment that I made just before. He does finally die, but that rotate is now coming around. That could have easily been a bomb plant by now, a 10-second bomb plant by now, but bomb is only just going to be put down. Dirty and Sim both have to make something of this. In fact, the bomb is not even down yet.
The bomb is on the back of the AWP carrier of Inject, which is very, very risky, and I would not have recommended that, because that has given the CTs all the time in the world to get into position and even retake this or even deny it if they were aware. But the bomb will go down ahead of Animus. Animus was keeping an eye on the angle, but Dirty will have none of it, and now it is Inject versus 2. Dirty will punch in the digits. The shot will whiff, Inject will drop, and that is now 5, thanks to Sim and his heroics, and 2 will survive. Oof, Lucky 7, the misfirings were dire and very, very costly there. They had a opportunity to get the bomb down in a very quick order, but obviously not knowing what we know, they decided to err on the side of caution given what they've seen before. And it was to their detriment. That brings the gap to 2. Double ops now as well for Moop and Haz. It'll be curious to see where they play. Watching through Banana, taking a pot shot, and Sim will actually be sitting down Animus for now. Haz is the other AWPer and is watching from the arch position. So the 2 potential turrets have both the sides on lock. It depends on which one will be utilized.
Well, Sim obviously in a bit of a sneaky position on top of that boost of Dig. Managed to get that kill and has fallen back to the side. Now the T's were kind of stopped a little bit there. Now they got to try and find a frag, and they do not find it just yet. Has found one. He's curious to see if there's a second one there. I think he might know though. Zeph now pushing into Arch. Chris finding the head of Kaiser, so that's going to make it 4 against 3. Plus Zeph making it even peggings once again. Inject very, very low though. He's got to be careful. Chris Rao is going to recover the bomb with 40 seconds left on the clock, so not a lot of time. Moop coming up trumps and killing Zeph. It's going to make it 3 against 2. And now the B push is on. Moop is going to have to hold this by himself. For the most part, anyway.
Will Moop be a Moop VP? An MVP? I stretched that really hard. I'm sorry.
That was... you've done better tonight.
Not all of them can be winners, but that one definitely was a headshot through the smoke to Crusoe. Wow. And Inject on 12 HP with 10 seconds to go has only hope to either put the bomb down, extend the time, or die before the timer runs out, and Dirty will answer the question for me. The gap is shrunk to 1. And now we are left in quite the predicament. Both teams are able to buy, but both teams are on very thin ice. If Lucky 7 wins, they will win out the half. If Riot wins, we'll be tied at 7 apiece.
This has been a really damn close game. Like, both of these teams, at times, they can be dominant over another. At times, they can be inseparable. And, guys, it's just been just a deck of cards, essentially. What's going to come up next?
Yeah, what do you like? And if you note the economic standing too, some of the members are down to even double digits. Like Inject's down to $50 after his investment, so he's throwing everything he can at it. So if either of these teams gets completely depleted, the next buy for the final round will be very, very rough indeed. We're moving into a minute to go in the 14th round of the first half.
Sim's up in the spot once again, though. We did see him here last round. Now, huge impact on the game. He was able to get that kill and fall back to site, plus bring home some information as well. And I think it might work just again. Panic might have sensed it. Unfortunately, it hasn't really worked. Zeph and Panic both getting kills for themselves. Third for Kurisarao. That Molotov going to deny any push through there. But the A side is completely open now. These two CCs going to have to push through and try and do a retake 5 versus 2. Probably not going to be very possible, I would save in the situation. That's what it looks like Moop will be doing.
Yeah, save that. Go to last, especially with that 4750 on your back. That is, of course, the AWP's value in Counter-Strike. But Zeph does get parted away, and Kaiser will take out Animus. So they're at least doing a little bit of damage and forcing rebuys to the fragile tier economy. But the frag that they more likely really wanted, if only they knew the health pool, would be Chris. Wow, only on 9 HP. You could breathe on him and he'd be sent to the bench. But Lucky 7 will win out the half with an 8 on the board. 3 will survive. 2 on the side of Riot. And now they lay it all out on the table. Shinabok, they won't be able to put much together, but will it be enough? They've done a lot more with a lot less.
Well, they'll do their damn best nonetheless. Like you say, a lot more with a lot less. They have been pretty successful with their eco sort of pistol buys, at least getting a few frags. But with this sort of stuff, you expect them to make something of this round. That's what they're going to try and do. Obviously, 8-6 is the scoreline. It's about as close as it can get at this time of the game, at this time of the year, located entirely within Inferno.
In this time of day, in this country,
In this part of the country, localized entirely within apps.
within.
I mean, there is a kitchen in this map, so
You tried so hard. Just like Riot did on the CT defense, but it seems to be falling flat with only Dirty and Has surviving. Dirty will actually reply to death, so things could get steamy yet. But the bomb will go down, and it'll be basically Dirty versus 4. And will we be able to see Aurora Borealis at the back of the site? No, more than likely we will not. Dirty won't be seeing stars, he will be seeing a little bit of a bad scoreline of 9-6 unless he can go full Hulk mode and wipe them all out. But I don't like his chances, to be quite frank, Shambok, do you?
definitely not though. And he's flashed as well. It's going to make it even more hard. They're going to know exactly. Chris doesn't matter that he finds a kill into Panic because that will be the halftime score. 6-2. Yeah, right. Gaming going to try and have to come back on their map choice on their T half, but no, the way things keep going, I think it will be 1-1 eventually. Lucky 7 should be able to pull back. I still have faith in them, considering last game. I mean, they started off really well, didn't end up the best, but of course they still have it in them, and yeah, I think they're going to make it 1-1.
And it should be noted that theoretically still the stronger side is still the counter-terrorist side, which on Mirage, while you can't take as much away as you would think, they did get 9 on the trot, and that would do more than winning the game outright. So if they can repeat that effort, they'll be walking home free with a win, which they more than desperately needed after being pushed to the limit. And then second half of Inferno between Lucky 7 and Riot Gaming. I am Cyberwaste. My right-hand man has been Shambok, and this is the ESL AU&NZ Championship Season 1 for 2018, and opening day, and the last map of the night.
What a great opening day it has been. We've seen some pretty big scalps, of course. We've casted a few matches. There were some matches cast as well on the official ESL Australia, ESL CSGO, I think it was actually. And a few upsets there as well. I think Atletico, the ex-Atletico lineup, faltered to the hands of Chiefs, I believe it was.
Yeah, quite convincingly. And speaking of convincingly, Kaiser got put down hard by Def with a one hit right to the dome. And that's put Lucky 7 in the driver's seat. Yes, 2 members have taken damage, but they're still bodies on the field, especially with the armor. That could end up being a pivotal role.
I'm not sure the armor will play too much into this, but those USPs definitely will, and I reckon maybe even likely they get another frag. Chris Arau unfortunately can't find that. Has comes around. Church finding the kill. Inject as well, getting his head taken off from 100 to 0. Now it's 2 against 2. They do have a kit, so Panic can try and make something of it. He does have full health. But he's got to rely on Zeph as well to sort of try and get some frags here and there. Movement has both in great bomb plant, post plant position, sorry, my bad. Panic finding one. Can he count the second though? Very, very unlikely. In fact, he's just going to go for the straight up frag. Runs out of ammo, goes for the knife, and has having none of that.
I was like, put that away. Please no. But he will actually get 3 to his name, save the bomb, and that will be the gap shrunk to 2. 9 to Lucky 7, and 7 to Riot Gaming. I know I'm going to be tripped up by Lucky 7's name one of these days when their opponent is on 7 rounds. We have 2 submachine guns for Riot Gaming, 1 Galil and 2 AKs, 2 Moneymakers being the members of Dirty and Sim. Sim being the real heavy hitter so far this map, in my opinion. At least in the grand scheme of things. Dirty has been pretty big force as well.
Yeah, he was a little bit quiet in that first map. He did sort of get to grips towards the end of the game, but this game is starting to take off a little bit now, showing that he is quite that dominant player. And that's a Dirty I like to see, of course, as well. I remember casting him, and he was on fire for the entire time. So it's good to see him back into the swing of things. And no frags just yet. A minute is still on the clock. In fact, no damage taken either, so no one's seen anyone, but I reckon this A push will come in pretty soon. In fact, now.
Yeah, right on cue. Thank you, Shambot, for the introduction. Dirty will take out Animus. Just checking his corners. Panic was just cowering behind a box and just ended up paying for it with his life. So that Mac 10 has just paid for itself in spades. And now, Lucky 7, they're just hightailing it out of there and don't want anything to do with these angry, fully kitted, rioting terrorists. Zep does try his luck, but Dirty will get a third frag to his Zep. So with that, he's paid it off and then some. If he got an ace with it, it'd be really good for the ego, but that's very unlikely to happen. Given the positions of Chris Wow and Inject, that will bring the scoreline to 9-8 as soon as the bomb goes kaboom.
Sideboys, what are your thoughts on the Mac 10? Do you rate it as a weapon, or do you find yourself using it often?
Very much so, especially if you are playing as the recon or you are leading a charger to a site. You could basically be a mid shield for a rifler, or even better still, an AWPer. And if the opponents are not armored in the head, you could just go nuts in the head and just break them down. And even if you know that the opponents are unarmored, you can still make that go to work. And the money bonus is nice too.
Well, it's likely to make you go to work this round once again. No armor at all on the Lucky 7 team, so if they do find themselves bumping into either Dirty or Sim, it could be a bit of dosh here and there.
Yeah, a little bit of killing floor 2 action, just throwing money around. LODS of EMONE. Nobody's going to remember that. Kaiser will take out Zephyr. Will take out a lot of HP for his trouble. He's down to 11 thanks to that shot to the head. So, not all is over just yet. Chris O'Well's still rather low as well. So, he may be a liability.
Gonna be no. I was expecting around the world, but no, there's around the backside. Christopher is gonna get pretty damn lucky, I guess, finding one of those kills. But no, he does finally fall to the hands of Sim, and that bomb should be planted pretty much in a minute now. Right on cue, in fact, has been a kill onto Animus. He's also spotted out the last player, Inject in Arch. This should be about 5 seconds till he dies, maybe less.
5, 4, 3, he's hanging on, but Moop will silence him. 2 do go down for Riot Gaming. Kaiser does come close to death, but it's only close in horseshoes and hand grenades. And we are at a tied scoreline, and it looks to be an even utility line and weaponry as well.
I mean, this could literally not be any closer. There's $250 between these two teams in terms of the utility line. 9-9 at the top of the score, and the only thing difference is the AWP and the Galil. I guess the rest of them have rifles, but Jesus, this is really looking to be quite a close game.
Yeah, they're fighting tooth and nail, and something must have really awoken in the hearts of Riot Gaming. They've decided to rally the troops and cause a bit of a ruckus, so that is exactly what they've been doing thus far, especially after their overtime win earlier, 1916 on Mirage. They're still aiming to carry that heart all the way through to a final scoreline here on Inferno. Moving into 1 minute 10. The bomb is still located, moving towards second mid, so still in the feeling out process. But 2 members are hanging outside of the B side, that being Chris Wow and Inject. The orb of Inject hasn't really been as powerful as one would think.
No, unfortunately not. And well, this push will be coming out to the A site, going all together. So we should be getting quite a bit of a storm happening here. Dirty gets caught the Molotov out. He has to fall back just a little bit, but he better get this bomb plant nonetheless. Animus doing some great work here, finding 3 kills for himself before getting taken down by Sim, who's actually found 3 kills for himself. So 3 and 3 for both of those players. Bomb will be planted now by Sim, and now it's going to be a bit of a hold from these 2 players.
Kaiser still in pit, but yet to find himself an actual rifle. Inject getting boosted up, which is actually quite cheeky. Expecting one of the members to show their heads, but it is not to be. They are holding strong for now. Crystal Wow stepping forward, Sim catching his head. Thank you for the brain bucket, and Kaiser will clean up the AWPer of Inject, and Riot will take the lead. No orb carried over though, which is quite unfortunate because I saw Kaiser looking over the. I think it was Kaiser or Sim looking over the body, and I was looking at the orb, but didn't get to it in time, sadly. But with the Max 10 on the back of Dirty, they may not have to worry about that. If he gets a couple of frags, he may be able to just buy it all with the spare money.
Yeah, well, whatever works, mate. And I reckon by the end of this round, he should be able to get a fair bit of dosh in that bank. But it's got a few rounds to go. Kaiser finding the head of Zeph. That's going to open up a. Oh, only one player is going to be left on the few players. Going to have to rotate soon. Panic chilling in apps. We'll find the head of Dirty. That's lucky for the team. That's only going to be the SMG as opposed to one of the rifles. Moop also finding a kill for himself, and that A site's going to be kind of open, but T's rotating for B.
They're a little bit they're a little bit indecisive, it would seem, but obviously with so much time and so much to play for, you do not want to lose the lead to anything frivolous. So despite getting 2 frags and only having the moneymaker go down, Riot cannot really afford to put a foot wrong, especially with some of the power hitters that are still up on the field, like Inject, Animus, which we saw last round with a huge 3k. You've still got Chris O'Wow with a ton of experience. Riot cannot afford to underestimate Lucky 7 and their prowess, which is why they're crossing all their I's and crossing all their T's and dotting their I's, not like me in my speech. But Lucky 7's defense is thinning out some. The bomb is starting to move onto the B site, but if Inject were able to drop the bomb carrier, it could have been quite disastrous given the time bank there. But Animus is the only CT left standing. His shell dying momentarily, and right on cue, he gets a 5.56mm NATO round right between the eyes. And that's legs 11 for Riot Gaming, and a buy coming in for Lucky 7. They are looking to reply, and reply swiftly.
You got a bit of a roll there, yeah. Fair bit of talking to do, but look, we got a double AWP setup coming out here from Injured and Panic. This is always interesting to see 2 AWPs on one team, and I reckon, looking down that B, banana place, might even get maybe a wallbang. See, if I was Inject right now, I'd be going there, I'd be shooting some pot shots through that wall, and, try and hope for the best. Well, hasn't really worked for him, unfortunately. Sim has taken him down. There's only 1 AWP left on the A side. Is Panic. He will find the kill onto Kaiser. Nice little shots from him right there. The bomb still back in the T area, so hasn't really had a decided where to go right yet. Panic, another kill for himself. He's good. He's done good this round.
No, sir. And sadly, the inject play did not quite work. It looked like he was going for a similar wallbang play, but whoever took him down had the same idea. It ended up dispatching of him properly. But a 2 versus 4 with a whole minute to play with. Lucky 7 did not have to do anything. It is up to Riot to make the move. It is up to Lucky 7 to try to force their hand. They definitely have the time and the utility to do it. Molly actually going out there, so they're down to 1, which is on the back of Panic. Be curious to see how that gets used. There is no utility left on the T side either, aside from a Molotov on Sim, but a smoke will go out to perhaps falter off any potential B push, but the pressure is being applied towards the A site with the Molly coming straight towards them in pit. He ate that for breakfast, and Moop comes in with 2 of his own and breaks the A defense clean off its hinges.
He's got to try and find the bomb though, and he has found it, but he's running very, very low on time. He should get this plant, but geez, if he didn't find that, he thought it was underneath, but he had to quickly bounce up towards the top, and yeah, it must have been a bit of a panic moment for him, but nonetheless, he has got the plant. Unfortunately for his sake, he has been taken down by Animus now, so Lucky 7 clawing 1 round back against Riot Gaming, and it's just as close as ever, isn't it?
Indeed, both teams are now in double digits, and that almost ended in disaster for poor Moop. Yes, he's getting back into the good scoring graces. He's actually on 13 frags. They're buying time to find themselves a scavenger weapon. But poor Moop, it looked like the bomb had dropped for him in pit. but didn't end up finding it. It actually ended up at the top of the balcony, and that almost ended in disaster. It was a couple of seconds away from being exactly that.
Well, lucky for Lucky, they were able to find that round and bringing it ever so closely as well. And Jake picking up it all once again, seeing what he can do in this game. Though he didn't have too much of an impact last round, of course. But I reckon if he's lucky here, he might be able to get a frag through this wall. Come on, give it a wall bang. Go on, you know you want to. I mean, there's no one there, but you know you want to. Come on, let's
You
see.
never know. You never know.
You never know. There we go.
No dice, but Moop is chunked down to 50 HP thanks to a little bit of the bombing run down Banana. And a little bit of a slight scab for Sim as well. He's lost 4 HP. It is now on 96. Inject boosting his comrade in the arms. Chris O'Wow to the... What is that? The second Orange's position, if memory serves. I'm having a bit of a blank at the moment.
That's all right. It has been a long night for the both of us, mates.
Indeed.
It's okay to have blanks every now and then.
But Chris O'Wow back in the Overwatch position. Hopefully these Ts and CTs don't shoot blanks and actually get to fragging each other very soon. And we're moving into 50 seconds. Utility's still
I never shoot
full
blanks,
on
man.
Kaiser. Oh, I bloody hope not.
No, definitely not, mate.
The T side is gathered outside of the A side. It looks like they may be looking to do a death ball, but they do have 3 CTs to contend with. Zep is boosted up in sight. Mobot very low. Dirty and Moop will bring down 2, but Zeph will get 3 to his name. A 3k to him before being sent to the grave. The A side's been completely infiltrated, and Lucky 7 are too far away to stop this. But one of the team members, excuse me, is on the flank, and Sim. Oof, that almost ended badly for you, but does end up taking out Inject, catching him unawares. But now Chris O'Wow versus 2, and the time running out. He does have a kit, but his life ran out. Sim will dispatch of him. It would go 12-10 in favor of Riot and the economy for Lucky 7. Oh well, they'll be scratching the bottom of their pockets to get the chump change that they so sorely need to get back into this.
I really do feel sorry for Zeph as well. He's done so much in the past 2 games, and that particular as well. 3 kills. Animus, I don't even know if he knew if he was in the Molotov or not. He did take quite a bit of damage from it, but Zeph, he's been doing pretty good wonders for the team, but unfortunately for him, these wonders haven't been capitalized on. And as Kaiser finds that first kill onto Animus of the round.
And barring any strange stuff coming out for the Deagles, Zeph eating a little bit of damage from a nade as well. It looks like it will be going to 13-10, and potentially a huge upset, at least on paper, for Riot Gaming to basically be bragging about the whole time. They'd be rightfully chuffed if they end up getting the W from these 2 best of ones.
Oh yeah, and to come like we imagined. Well, I particularly said that. Yeah, Lucky 7. This should be able to, quite an easy fashion. Not as convincing as we saw with Carnage versus what was the other team again?
Carnage and Streamline.
That was it, Streamline. Yeah.
That was essentially just there was a lot of very vulgar terms that I used at the intermission, but it was just a absolute dismantling of Carnage, and they didn't really live up to their namesake, which is really unfortunate. But early days. It is the opening day, the first match day of this brand new season. Inject getting the flank on to this T attack does take out Haz, so he does snatch the AWP, and he will be hightailing that, I am sure, very shortly. Yes, he will. He's moving towards the arch position, and he's having no part of it because a 4750 worth rifle is nothing to sneeze at, especially when it's what you're best at, when it's one of your best tools, and you find a spare one lying around, you pick that up and run.
Yes, and saving it is definitely a good choice. In fact, you might even get the frag here onto Sim. Sim's going to be very, very careful. He should know that he's going to be in the sight line. He definitely is. That's going to be a frag towards him. And the T's are probably going to be too far away to make any... try and at least get a kill on this one. So it's going to be another round. 2 Riot Gaming. There's 3 rounds to go until they can taste that sweet, sweet victory.
Scratch and Claw is the name of the game for Riot. They have done a lot of work over these last two maps. It will be just the cherry on top if they end up having a payoff. A little bit of a scrambled buy as well for Lucky 7. The aim will be to keep Inject alive and prevent that AWP from falling into the hands of the attacking side. Is that likely? We will wait and see. Zeph is a little bit cut off at the moment. He's got a little bit of a hot floor to deal with. And Kaiser will also greet him with bullets. Inject will take out Dirty though, so that scavenged orb already being put to use. And Chryso, wow, moving back towards the CT cross, towards CT spawn, maybe catching an eye of a couple of players moving in towards Nana. There is the bomb carrier there as well.
Those nades getting thrown out, and the T is now going to push onto the side. Chryso stands absolutely no chance for T's pushing. In fact, Paddock as well, losing his life. The bomb site B completely open now. Bomb will be planted. Riot Gaming quite solid in this round. Going to be probably finding themselves at 14-10. And, well, it's really getting to crunch time, isn't it, now? If Lucky 7 don't have a timeout soon, if they don't have a little talk soon, they will likely be losing this one 2-0.
Lucky 7 are definitely on their last legs now, but they do have the scavenged orb from the round previous and a newly found AK-47, which it would appear a couple of the members of Riot at least are going on the hunt for. Will they end up succeeding? Looks like the T's are looking to engage. Kaiser will actually lose his life because of it, and so will Moop. So a couple of rebars are forced, which is a little bit of a pain in the neck, but given how much money is accrued for Riot Gaming, it's not really that big of a deal.
Yes, plenty of cash in the bank. Dirty's a little bit on the scabby side, but geez, they're looking extremely strong coming into not only the final few rounds of this game, but the next few games as well. Remember, this is like a tournament, so there's different match weeks where each team plays over every other team. And if they continue the way they are, we can see a lot more close games, a lot more games that are just being clinched by Riot Gaming, and they could be contenders for the final. They could be that dark horse that you might be saying, hey, like no one expected them to be here, but hey, look, they're here.
Yeah, and little do you know, some writers actually do write it on the horses with scimitars. Ooh, Zeph! Putting a 3-3 at the paw, right through the chest of Sim in a quick reaction, and that slims the the T side of the attack a little bit more now. And it completely smoked off of Banana too, so if they were planning to attack that, that's basically no good for right now, but the T contingent is stuck outside of apartment. Zeph will has through the shoulder, but will not get a fry, but will take out Kaiser. Moop will reply to him. Moop taken down to 6 HP by Chryso, wow, but gets a round right in the face. A combined reign of 24 HP against 2 CTs. What will happen next?
Well, 24 is double 12 at least, and even though it's not really going to matter too much in this situation, it will be has somehow find that kill onto Inject, and luckily enough, I reckon they might even have this. Even though they're very, very low, they spread themselves out very nicely and move. Also finding that kill. That was a great crossfire teamwork area, and well, not crossfire of sorts, but they spread out. They got those great post-plant positions. It doesn't matter how much health you have. If you're in a post-plant position where those CTs just can't find you, you can have all the time in the world to kill someone. And that's exactly what they've done here. Riot Gaming, one more round, and they will emerge victorious. Lucky Gaming, though, still in this. Still could try and win at least 5 rounds on the trot to bring it to an overtime, but it's really looking like quite an upset, isn't it?
To be quite frank, it's looking rather shaky. Well, aside from the double orb setup, they'll have to come up big, and Zeph will put a start to that, taking out Has very early on. But we saw that last round as well. They got the man advantage, and then quick sequence ended up tipping it back in their favor. But Zeph, so far with 2 frags from the big green gun, it'll be up to the heroics of Loop, Dirty, and Sim to bring it all home. But with 5 CTs wanting to keep this alive and wanting to not lose the will to fight, it'll be still a tough challenge.
Third kill now coming from Inject. That's going to mean 2 players and just the only ones alive. And the bomb already pretty much committed to Bananas, so you kind of have to push through these CTs and make sure they're able to get at least 1 kill. They might not get this round, but I don't think they would be too discouraged should they lose this. Because, I mean, they've still got some 4 rounds to play with here. Zeph also getting a kill for himself. Chris are out on the hunt. Going to try and pick up a weapon. Considering he's only got the 5.7.
Try and pick up an actual rifle. Sim
A big rifle, a big boy gun.
Yay, he ended up picking up an AK. Sadly, was it one of the orbs that went down? No, it did get salvaged.
Yeah, so they actually has 3 orbs, and then Chris picked up an AK. So, yeah, almost that 3 orbs, but yeah.
That seems silly to have 3 orbs.
Yeah, hence why he traded out for the AK, but...
That makes perfect sense. Better than chucking it over the fence. But Lucky 7 are breathing new life to this matchup. They are not going down early. They are going down swinging.
What are they swinging though?
Sacks of coins, maybe.
Maybe.
Blood for they go, or maybe sacks of soap like Full Metal Jacket. Animus will open proceedings along with Zeph, sending out the numbers, but Haz will be the only one to reply. And in amongst that quick exchange, 2k for Animus and 2k for Panic, and the match will be paused, perhaps wanting to reassess and recalibrate everything on the side of right, because they do have 1 round left. They have enough funds to buy with a little bit of spreading around and a little bit of management. What do you do?
In the form of Riot, it would be extremely disheartening if they were to lose. Because this is kind of similar to what we saw before as well. It was like 14-15 Riot were looking to bring it to a draw. Lucky 7 almost had that win for so long, but Riot come along and clinch it. And should that happen, but in reverse this time, that would that'd be a pretty big talking point, I would say.
Yeah. Maybe could give both of these teams a little bit of a reputation of either letting games slip away or coming close, rallying back, and just falling short. That could set a precedent in their future, which they will have to keep an eye on and try to rectify. But the freeze time will be cancelled. Round number 13 of the second half will get underway momentarily. Both teams are throwing everything they can at it. Right, want to wrap this up. Lucky 7 want to keep fighting back and keep rallying. Let's dance, shall we?
27 rounds gone. Potentially 3 rounds to go. We are sitting on round 20, and we're going to take you all the way to the very end. Here we go. The nades doing a little bit of damage there. Dirty and Sim both taking down a considerable amount, in fact. But these 2 nades might even find a reverse frag. No reverse frag, but Chris are out very, very low himself. So, battle of the HE grenades, or I call them HE grenades. High explosive grenades, HE display grenades, whatever you want to call them. I call them HE grenades. I think it's pretty funny.
I call them Pokeballs.
Pokeballs, yeah?
Yeah, whenever someone frags for with it, oh, we caught a wild so-and-so. But that got used once in a cast by a famous caster, and then I feel like I'm doing it. But we're moving down to 1 minute. And still in a bit of a stalemate, both in terms of HP and of manpower. The bomb is still sitting at mid, moving towards the A site. 4 team members are still sitting around. I would say 3, excuse me. And 2 members are still sitting at number. Perhaps these 3 are wanting to keep the CTs in place. Moving forward. Chris O'Well will be there to greet him. But does take down Sim. And Panic will take out Haz and Kaiser as well. So that's definitely perked up the ears of Lucky 7. Inject will get 1. And to make that 2 to put a cap on it. Lucky 7 are not going down out of fights. The gap is now shrunk to 2. Riot is still on match point, but they may have to keep fighting if this ends up getting tied.
And my dinner will have to keep waiting, unfortunately, as well, because I'm absolutely starving. But 2 rounds left in this. Lucky 7 can definitely bring this back. And the fact that Riot gave me a very, very low, in fact, they're going to go for 5 nade stack. Let's see how this one plays out. Nades into mid. Zeph finding that opening frag. Those nades doing basically nothing.
Only grades poor Zeph, and Panic that's one for the montage. Checking out 3, and Animus will clean that formality up. And we have gone the distance not once, but twice. 2 straight maps going to all 30 rounds. Will Wright emerge victorious, or will Lucky 7 get another roll of the dice in overtime? Let's find out, Shambuck.
Take your
Let's
picks,
go
ladies and
dirty.
gentlemen, and Russian betters, because we are going the full. Sure, you guys are sitting on the edge with your betting applications in hand. Of course, we don't really condone betting, but regardless, I know that people out there that will bet on the games. But anyway, here we go. Round 30 out of 30. Round 60, 66 out of 66 so far for these two matches combined. It's a
Yes.
very long game, very long night.
Indeed, they're pouring everything that they can into all of these maps and all these frags, and it's showing the resilience between these two teams, if anything else. Because Riot ran away with some of this map, and Lucky 7 are able to scratch and claw, and Riot had done that the same on Inferno. Panic meeting at the Arch position will take out Has. Will Moot be there to reply? Yes, he will, but it does take a lot of damage for it. Zeph being the only line of defense on the A site will take out Dirty as well. So it's left the attack in a little bit of a haphazard way and a little bit of a panic, dare I say.
And it's definitely looking in favor of Lucky 7 Gaming. It looks like they're going to be, well, they're going to be holding strong, holding that fort of both sides, especially the A site where that bomb is headed very, very slowly. But surely Kaiser's going to be very, very careful. He doesn't want to be peeking out, just overextending as much as he's allowed to. He will push himself out, and Animus shutting him down. This round's all but over. Sim, last one alive, finds 1. He's left on 3 HP. We'll be seeing some shenanigans like Kaiser did in the end of last game. Kaiser, of course, getting that 3 versus 1. Unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing that again. It's going to be Chris pushing in, and 15-15 is the scoreline. We are going to another overtime. Inseparable, aren't they?
They've been going neck and neck. We didn't think that it would be this way from the outset, but we are so glad that it's actually this way, because it shows the current state, at least in a tiny way, of this region's play in Counter-Strike and how close everybody's become. And it is quite a joy to watch. 30 rounds were not able to decide it, so we are going into MR 360K, which is max rounds 3. And $16,000 is your starting money. And the magic number for your winner will be 19. So that'll be the rounds to go for. And you're watching the ESL AU&NZ Championship Series Season number 1 for 2018. I have been Justin, aka Cyberwaste. My right-hand man has been Shambok, and we thank you so much for joining us. We're going to extra, Shambok. Strap in. This is going to be a wild one.
Strap yourselves in indeed as we get on with the rest of this game. 15-15 is the scoreline. Like you said, 19 is the magic number. Yes, it is. T's, Riot Gaming, CT's Lucky 7. Let's see how these two inseparable teams are able to duke it out and see who comes out on top. Who will be the first one to find the frag? My bet is Inject.
Inject really wanted to try his luck behind the car, but ended up eating a little bit for his trouble. Zeph, you lost that one. But Inject does get the HE on the Sim. Moop is able to reply on to Chris O'Wow though, so now we're 3 versus 4 for the attacking side of Riot Gaming, but Has is only on 5 HP. So you could essentially just poke him with the barrel of your rifle. Not even fire, and more than likely he will drop to his knees and kill. Moving into 1 minute and 5. So, with Lucky 7 coming up strong so far, and Riot being on the back foot, what do you do? Do you essentially wait things out, try to use your utility to pull someone away, and then have Has move out as a meat shield? Because he is so low.
But you've really got to do something, and it doesn't matter what it is, just give it a shot, because at this stage of the game, you can't be just giving rounds away, essentially. You have to make something of it. You have to give it your all. Otherwise, you're just going to look at the game slip away from you, and it looks like they're going to be executing this A site now. giving that they're all these CTs on the rotate. Haven't found that kill win pick just yet. There we go, Dirty finding that one. Zeph on that rotate fast. Will be flashed out, so the bomb will get planted for them. Moop a kill with the HE grenade.
4-3, and swish goes.
Now it's Lucky 7 on the back foot.
Indeed, and with the bomb behind their back as well. Panic yet again. Oh, so we've got potential NBA Jam players, and now with in amongst that sequence, it is Moop in a 1 versus 2. You'll have to get a 4K to manage it, but Inject will avenge the fallen Panic, and Lucky 7 in amongst that quick and almost a sugar pill sort of round. It was quick and frantic by the end. They end up getting the 16, and the Orb will survive.
Yes, lucky for them. And they do take the lead once again. They snatch that lead away from Riot Gaming. And God, like, hats off to both of these two teams. They have done absolutely insane work. And whoever wins tonight, I do hope it is a 1-1, so both of these teams can walk away with at least some sense of accomplishment and achievement. I mean, if it was a Riot 2-0, Lucky 7, like, it's just so disheartening.
Lucky 7 would be reeling after that, especially pushing it to overtake this particular juncture. And they're looking to keep that train rolling with both Moop and Haz being sent to the bench. And yes, a tiny bit of damage taken, but it's negligible in the grand scheme, especially with when AKs can kill you with a one shot with a headshot anyway. Zeph will take out Kaiser, thinning the numbers ever still. And now, Dirty and Sim, you've done a lot of work thus far. Can you swing the momentum back in your favor? Or will Lucky 7 go to 17?
I think we'll be looking at a 17, my friend, because there's only 2 players left. And of course, 1 minute left on the clock. They still have some time, but yeah, it's 2 against 5. And how often do you see people win that?
And it has happened, but it is a very rare occurrence. They will have to put out some absolute magic and cause some absolute mayhem. A shot whiffed by Zap could prove to be their detriment. He has another go. Will be taken out by Dirty, but Inject will avenge him with his counterpart, or using the 5-7 to finish him off. And that is a 2K for him. And that brings Lucky 7 to Sweet 17. And if you're right, yeah, you can buy, but after clawing all the way to match point and looking at the potential sweep in the first half of overtime, what do you do? Do you block that out of your mind? Because it is looming, there's no doubt about it.
It's also good to know that it's 7 rounds in a row for Lucky Gaming. They had the 5 rounds towards the end where it was 10-5, and now taking these rounds as well. Inject once again has been on absolute fire finding these frags. Zeph as well. He's been another one who's been one to show up to the stage. In fact, Zeph probably my man of the match, I would say.
I'd definitely say either Zeph or Inject. Inject actually taking a little bit of a licking from the Molotov as well. He actually walked out to get that frag. And that's left Riot in a bit of a dire strait with Moop and Dirty only on 27 and 12 respectively. So Sim is your only full HP man. And yes, you have time on your side, but you have very little else. And the bomb is stranded in Banana. And the dynamic, at least Inject, he'd still be up. And he's definitely good for this. And Panic also well will polish off Moop. Panic will finish off Dirty as well. Sim will reply to Panic and Zeph. And now, with 12 health and a dream, will be in a duel versus Animus. And the bomb will go down in that quick turn of events.
Animus using all his utilities to try and fade out a few of these shots. He does find exactly where Sim is, but takes some damage in the process. Now Sim able to Molotov off the bomb as well as a HE grenade. If this lands by his feet, this could kill him. I mean, 45 HP, you're looking at a bit too much, but you know, it is entirely possible. Animus going to go for that ninja defuse. In fact, going to tap it. No. Instead, he is going to tap the bomb, fake it. Sim falls for the fake. In that situation, you kind of had to go for it. You can't really... You can't take any chances.
You have too much at stake. You may as well just go for it. It would have been pure poetics if he ended up throwing that last AG that landed right at his feet and fragged him in the middle of defusing. But sadly, it was not to be.
Well, 18-15, and what do you take of this? It's been a nail biter, that's for sure. These two teams just pretty much inseparable.
Yeah, they're basically trying to one up each other. I've been so stunned by both of these teams' heroics. For Riot running it back on the opening up of Mirage, Lucky Seven looking to do the same on Inferno, and they are one round away from doing so. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final map of this dual best of one series between Riot and Lucky Seven for the ESL AU&NZ Championship Series. Season 1 for 2018, and oh, it's been a marathon, but it's been a wonderful journey. We thank you all for joining us. Kaiser looking down towards Nan, and Moop is in tow. And now the playing out begins.
Just one round. That Lucky Seven need one round, and that will secure victory as well as a 1-1 final scoreline for them. And well, they're trying to open things up here. Kaiser has been taken down a little bit, as has Chris as well. So damage for damage. And
Yeah.
Sim will fall as well as Panic. So 1 for 1 once again. Eye for an eye.
An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and dead bodies to the morgue. That's basically the law of averages. Inject will take out Moop as well as Kaiser. The B defense has been completely shattered by Lucky Seven. One last roll of the dice and you will be living large and in charge. Inject with a 3k now, looking to put a bow on it. Dirty, it is all up to you. Shambock's been hyping you up all night.
Come on, my friend.
Can you deliver the goods, or will the post plant be far too strong? He does get one onto Zeph, but everybody's gonna know where he is. Dirty came to the wrong neighborhood. Zeph does. Inject does whiff that one, and a second though, so it's not over yet.
And a third.
And a third, and does take out Crystal Wow, but fourth is the lucky charm, and that is your final. 19-15 is your final scoreline. Both of these teams go 1-1 for opening night. Match day number 1 of the ESL AU&NZ Championship for 2018's first season, and that is when we conclude.
I think it's also important to note as well, just one round separated these two teams. The scorelines were 15-19 and then 16-19 as well. So just one round in favor of Lucky Seven Gaming. So extremely close, and you basically can't get closer than that, can you?
No, and it will be very interesting to see if these two teams go elsewhere and meet up, because these two will definitely have a score to settle after a set like that. But that will conclude after that ultimate thrill ride. Whew, I think I need to lie down and just
I need to
lie
go
down
for
and
some
sleep.
Krispy Kreme drive-through, yeah?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan by enough for me. That little chicken will run home freely. That will conclude our coverage for the opening night of the ESL AU&NZ Championships first season for 2018. I have been Cyberwaste. My right hand man has been Shambok. Thank you for your company. And that will conclude for us. Good night and happy fragging, everyone.
See you later, you guys.